All right, man. Read that 1 Samuel 28 for one more time. Then he can answer the question after that. 1 Samuel 28 and 4. That's where we stopped at. But that's what got caught before the thing froze.
And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Shunem, and Saul gathered all Yasharal together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of Yahuwah, Yahuwah answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. And said Saul unto his servant, Seek me a woman that have a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, Behold, a woman have both a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on the other raiment, and he went, and 2 men with him. And they came to the woman by night, and he said, I pray you, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me up whom I shall name unto you. The woman said unto him, Behold, you know what Saul have done, how he have cut off those that have familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then lay you a snare for my life to cause me to die. Saul swore to her by Yahuwah, saying, Yahuwah live, there shall no punishment happen to you for this thing. Then said the woman, Whom shall I bring up unto you? And he said, Bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, Why have you deceived me? For you are Saul. King said unto her, Be not afraid, for what saw you? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth.
She saw what?
Gods ascending out of the earth.
Now, what your question was, man? No, I didn't want it to be on camera because I didn't know what you was asking. So, I think we did Psalms 2 and 3. We get Psalm 2 and 7. I think we got that after. But if not, let's just go ahead and make sure, just in case I didn't make it.
I will declare the decree. Yahuwah have said unto me, You, my son, this day have I begotten you.
This day I've what?
Begotten you.
1 John 5 and 1. Shalom, man. Shoot, nigga, you older than me.
Whosoever believe that Yahushua is the Mashiach is born of Elohim, and everyone that love him that begat, love him also that is begotten of him.
You begotten of who?
Of him.
Of Elohim, right? Mm-hmm. Keep on going.
By this we know that we love the children of Elohim, when we love Elohim and keep his commandments. For this is the love of Elohim, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Let's take it another step. Revelation 21 and 7.
He that overcome shall inherit all things, and I will be his Elohim.
And he'll be my what?
He shall be my son.
He'll be my what?
My son.
Because if you know you as gods, guess what that make it? Hold on now. Job 38 and 7.
When the morning stars sang together, and all the morning stars sang together, the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of Elohim shouted for joy. Sons of Elohim.
So if you a God, that means you a son of God, right? Because it said ye are gods, and all you are sons of God. That's what it said, didn't it? You just ain't no God, you a son of God. You understand? Now again, this is coming to the key point of the perverseness of his words, which caused the breach. See, this is the thing, right? This is what we get into. This is why the wholesome words are as health, or as a tree, or as a tree of life. And if you keep the fig tree, you eat the fruit thereof. Or how hope deferred make the heart sick, but when the desire come, it is the tree of life. What is the desire of man? Well, let's take a look at another point. Romans 8 and 18.
For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time not worthy with the esteem which shall be revealed in us. Mm-hmm. For the earnest expectation of the creature wait for the manifestation.
Earnest manifestation of the creature wait for what?
For the manifestation of
who?
Of the sons of Elohim.
Of the sons of who?
Of Elohim.
So how could you be earnestly waiting for that if becoming a son of God came from the law and the law was already there? That means that's not producing that. God bless Brother Langford. Hold on for a second. John 1 and 12. And then right back to Romans chapter 8.
But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of Elohim.
Become the what?
The sons of Elohim.
Become the what?
The sons of Elohim.
How they become it?
To them that believe on his name.
Mm-hmm. How, what else?
Which were born not of blood.
Not of what?
Not of blood. Nor of the will of the flesh.
Nor the will of the what?
Of the flesh.
Nor the will of the what?
Of the flesh.
And what else?
Nor of the will of man.
But of what?
Of Elohim.
Now, could the tree of knowledge of good and evil, was that of Elohim to make them gods? He was already a god when Yahuwah made him. You know what I'm talking about? So the key component on that is just to point out this one particular thing. What did Paul write to those or speak to those in the book of Acts that you might go on and get it for? Acts 13 and 37. Acts 13 and 37.
But he whom Elohim raised again saw no corruption. Be it known unto you, therefore, men and brethren, that through this man is preached unto you the forgiveness of sins.
Yep.
And by him all that believe are justified from all things, from which you could not be justified by the law of Moses.
You couldn't be justified by the law of what?
Of Moses.
The law of what?
Of Moses.
You see how they couldn't be justified to be his gods in the garden? That's what they were dealing with the law. Let's look and see again. Isaiah 53 and 10. Hey, cuz you got a clock on your shirt. I think they were trying to make that look like a clock. I'm being serious. That's what it looked like. See? It's 12 and 6. 9 and 3. 10 and 11. Yeah, that's what they were going for. They did a piss poor job. They think they slick. I seen what they were doing. You didn't do it. You didn't design it.
Yet it pleased Yahuwah to bruise him. Mm-hmm. He hath put to grief. When you shall make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see seed. He shall prolong days.
See who?
Seed.
He shall see who?
Seed.
Not seeds of many, but seeds of one. That seed being the Mashiach, the seed, which is the word of God. And everybody who's begotten of him is of him, and you born of him, because he already told you he the word, the truth, and the life, and the law of the truth. Go ahead.
He shall prolong days, and the pleasure of Yahuwah shall prosper in his hand.
What else?
He shall see of the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied by his knowledge. Shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities.
Say, the knowledge of my righteous servant will justify many. Well, let's take a look at another thing. I know some people be like this here. That's a lot of New Testament stuff. Get a new brain, nigga. How about that? Because we could justify all of it by the word, so that ain't no big deal. That's a light matter. Give me Galatians 2 and 14 before we go back to Romans 8, man. Because really all we're trying to show is how perverse the words of the serpent was, which caused the fissure or the separation. And the biggest thing, the lie that he told, was telling them that they would be gods through the law and not through Yahuwah himself. That's the big lie. You know, they will not surely die truly is a lie. But a lot of times that we just overlook is he told them they'll be his gods. And the law can't produce that for you. You know how we know that? Because he just said it. He gave you power to become the sons of God. Every time you've seen somebody, I seen gods descending out of the earth. Well, we already talked about that. If she's seen gods descending out of the earth, she's seen people resurrected from the dead. If you're resurrected from the dead, matter of fact, in the book of Matthew, he says the children of the resurrection are like who? Like the angels, right? What did Job just describe the angels as? Sons of God. Then you turn around and you look at how Lucifer is described, and what is he called? Or a day star. You know what I'm talking about? That's what Peter said would arise in your heart, didn't it? So now we saying that Satan going to arise in your mind? I don't think so. That's the only in my mind, because Barry had something, that video of the white dudes talking about when they were asking people who was the morning star and this, that, there, and the third, you know, because a lot of brothers be like, they Lucifer worshipers. Lucifer can't be both of them, and it'll only be one. You know what I'm saying? Like I showed you where Gino was talking about it, you know, the aspect of saying he transformed into an angel of light. That means he's not one. Just because you masquerading as one don't mean you are one. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of verses. Some do. It's the king of Babylon. Ain't no graves moving for the king of Babylon, son. The king of Babylon ain't get kicked out of heaven. But I just all described like some of them white dudes were saying in that video. You give Satan too much credit. It's like you want evil to have so much power that it really don't have. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing when you're dealing with Mr. Charlie here in America. You want to give them so much power that they don't have. Like at the end of the day, who is Satan? What does he do? He doesn't do nothing but be an adversary, a slanderer, an accuser, and a tempter. That's who he is, and that's what he does. You know what I'm talking about? Now, with the slandering, accusing, you can't really do too much about that. But with the tempting, you know what I'm talking about, and being adversarial, you can control that because you don't have to allow yourself to become a Satan by the Satan by letting him make you an adversary in situations where you don't need to be an adversary. Because we ain't talking about you an adversary against wickedness. Satan want to make you an adversary for the purpose of contention. Because wherever, what did he tell you? Wherever there's strife and contention, there's every evil work. Ain't that what James told you? And if that means if it's every evil work, that means Satan in the midst. I've been telling you for years, if you ain't got the spirit, you primed to be used by Satan at any given time. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you're not operating in the word, Satan can use you to be an adversarial character at any time. You know what I'm talking about? Because he's going to use you to cause strife and contention and disorder. That's how he operates. You know what I'm talking about? And then after that, he just going to tempt you. And he going to tempt you on what it is that he know you desire. He ain't going to tempt you with what the world think is important. Because guess what? You might not be tempted by chocolate cakes with strawberries on top. He might though. If I offer you a strawberry cake, a chocolate cake with strawberries on top and you don't like it, that don't mean nothing to you. Nigga, I don't eat that. But if you like, man, I'm trying to shave 5 pounds off, and nigga like this, I damn sure like that cake. Damn, why this nigga had to bring that cake. So he only gonna come at you on what it is that you desire and tempt you with that. That's why he say resist the devil in the faith and he'll flee from you. So when you think that the devil is just this overpowering, over-domineering type figure who you cower from in fear, then of course you always gonna yield to him because you're not understanding he don't have no power. You know what power the devil actually has? What power?
Power of the balls of the air.
Huh? What power does the devil actually have, sir? That's a different conversation. What power does the devil have? Doris and glory. You say to accuse? Satan only got the power you give him. That's all he got. He only got the power you give him. If you don't give him any power, he ain't got none. And that's just being honest with you. I know it seems like it wouldn't be something that simple, but it's really that simple. He only has the power that you give him.
But him give you over to a reprobate mind, would that be giving the adversary?
But you gave yourself over to that reprobate mind.
I would ask from the standpoint of you giving yourself over, you taking your strength.
No, when he give you over to a reprobate mind, he giving you over to your own desires.
But like you said, you was already doing that.
Yeah, so that's you.
I'm saying, why is he saying that?
Oh, when he say give you over to a reprobate mind,
was already there.
No, because he's rejected you.
Right. Okay.
So okay, you rejected me, I reject you. Stay like that. You like boy booted, you gonna like boy booted till you die.
So he said he's not gonna give him a chance to kill him.
Nah, you're done. I'm through with you. You contentious, strifeful, selfish, proud, a murderer, a liar, a thief, an idolater. Stay like that. You like to commit adultery? Stay like that. Remember that's when he said in Romans, since they didn't like to retain Elohim in their knowledge, I'm going to give you to a reprobate mind to do those things that are not convenient. So since you didn't like to store up the word in your mind and guard my words, or to guard the fig tree so you can eat the fruit thereof, I'm going to give you over and let you be the nasty figs, like he said in Jeremiah, the bad figs that couldn't even be touched. I'm going to let you be that.
So you couldn't get the devil on you if you wanted to.
Shoot, he ain't put the devil on.
No, I ain't say he did.
Because see, being reprobate, no, I say this here right, because we have to make sure we separate the two. Being reprobate don't mean Satan. Just mean you reject it. You know what I'm saying? Don't mean say no. Because If you reject it, there ain't no need for Satan to be on it. You know what I'm talking about? You already are the devil, shoot. You are my household. You rejected the word, shoot. Nigga, we in the same boat. You know what I'm talking about? But more so, I'm talking about in the tempted faith. Remember, all he can do is tempt. So if he tempts you and you give in to the temptation, did he really have power over you? Or did you give your power to him by yielding to that which it is that you desire? You had to give him that power. You know what I'm saying? What's that damn horror movie? What it is, man, that the nigga can't do nothing unless you let him in? It wasn't a damn horror movie. It's a lot of money. I can't remember the nigga name. But you had to invite this particular. Right, man. You had to invite him in.
Jesus Christ was scared of him. But it's the same type of concept. It's on you at that point. Because if you didn't fear him, he don't have. Right.
And that's what I'm telling you.
I know what he's talking about, though.
Shalom, Mother Strong. And I'm saying that with Satan. If you don't.
No, that's the niggas in the mirror who call him in.
Candyman. You had to invite him in.
Yeah, invite him in.
If you don't invite Satan in, he can't get in. And then, like I said, like even with Freddy Krueger, with Jeepers Creepers, Freddy got them niggas because they were scared. Jeepers Creepers got them niggas because they were scared. You know what I'm talking about? Perfect love cast out fear, because fear had torment. He ain't gave you the ruach of fear, and that's why he told you to resist him in the faith, and he'll flee from you. So if you don't fear him by resisting him with the word, and see the difference is because it's really different. When you resisted him in the faith that he'll flee from you, that means you're not yielding to your desires and the temptation. You are yielding to the word. So therefore he sees that I ain't got no way. Because when he came at the Lord, he came at him to tempt him. And the Lord just hit him with the bop, bop, bop with that word. Say, I got to slide. Because what I'm trying to get him with, he don't want. You know what I'm saying? And let's not even say that he don't want it. He believed in the reward of Yahuwah so greatly that he resisted me by the promise and then exhibited the promise by telling me what the words say. So I know ain't no room for me to mess with him. That's why he say be on guard, because your adversary, the devil, is like a worm seeking to who he can devour. He looking to devour the weak. And who are the weak? Those who are weak to their desires. You weak to your desires, that man gonna swallow you whole. You know what I'm talking about? He gonna get you on out of here. It ain't gonna take much effort. It ain't gonna take much effort. So I was gonna get to that point where Satan, what he tempted the Lord at. What's the first tempted him with? Turn these stones into bread. You know what I'm talking about? Because he already knowing that the law can't make you a son of God. The law can't give you life. Do that. And that's what he had to tell Satan. Now we stand on faith over here, because man don't eat by bread alone, but every word that proceed out the mouth of Yahuwah do man live. See, Satan don't know what to do with that when you standing on faith. You can't say, if you try to stand on law in front of Satan, Satan gonna laugh at you. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like when you see some of them horror movies and the vampire movies, and you think holding the cross up gonna make the vampire go away, and this nigga laughing at you like, nigga, that's not real. I'm not scared of that. Hit him with the holy water, he laughing. You know what I'm saying?
That's definitely what Exorcist is about.
Yeah.
Doing
all that, he laughing at him. Man, you know the crazy part is I ain't seen The Exorcist in a long time. But at the end of the day, you had to have faith in God to kill the demon. Yeah, I know it. I wouldn't watch it, definitely. But not just because that movie didn't do nothing for me the first time. You know what I'm talking about? But I say I could be wrong, because I don't recall that movie greatly, because I ain't seen it in a long time. But they were doing all that stuff, throwing holy water, the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. And ain't none of that get them demons up out them people. Because what the words say, that type of demon got to come out by prayer and fasting. So that means that had to be a level of faith to exercise that type of unclean spirit out of person. You see, it's going to come back to that, because the power in the faith, the power ain't in the law. The law can't cast out one unclean spirit. The law can't raise one person from the dead. Can't do none of that. Law can't produce one son of God. Can't do it. So when you see he knows that you'll be as gods, that's the biggest lie he told. That's the biggest lie he told. You know what I'm saying? Because he was telling you that the knowledge of good and evil would produce something in you that it could never produce. And you know how we know this? Because nobody was called a son of God after Adam fell. Nobody. But Adam. Where you find it at? I'll wait. Search it out. Let me finish my beverage. Ain't nobody got an answer? Give him Hebrews 1 and 6. Who in the text besides Adam was called the son of God after he disobeyed? He don't count, because that's God.
He's somebody's son.
He's somebody's son. Somebody love you, baby. Oh. Ruthie, you were back there. Why are you back there acting out, Ruthie? You tired? You need some hot milk? That's what Muffin like. She like hot chocolate milk with a dash of cream. Sometimes she like to drink coffee. That nigga voice gonna be raspy. She gonna be talking like the lunch lady. You know the lunch lady? You do? She give you snacks? Ain't that nice? Come on.
It said, and again, when he bring in the first begotten into the world, he saith, and let all the Malachim of Elohim worship him. Now the Malachim, he said, who made his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. Mm-hmm. But unto the Son, your throne, O Elohim, forever and ever, a scepter of righteousness, the scepter of the kingdom. Mm-hmm. You have loved righteousness and hated iniquity. Therefore, Elohim, Yah Elohim, have anointed you with the oil of gladness above your fellows. Mm-hmm. And you, Lord, in the beginning have laid the foundation of the earth, and Shamahim are the works of your hands. Mm-hmm. They shall perish, but you remain. They all shall wax old as do a garment. As a vesture shall you fold them up. They shall be changed, but you are the same, and your years shall not fail. Mm. But to which of the Malachim said he at any time, sit on my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool?
What else?
Are they not all ministering Ruach sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation?
Go ahead.
That's into that.
Well, back me up to 3 then. We'll get Genesis 4. What verse you referring to in Genesis 4, Brother Link? Hey, Grandma. Where you come from? Come on. Genesis 1, Hebrews 1 and 3.
Who being the brightness of esteem and the express image of his person and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high, being made so much better than the Malachim, as he had by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they.
A more excellent name.
For unto which of the Malachim said he at any time, you are my son, this day have I begotten you.
Of the Malachim have he ever said at any time, you are my son, I birthed you? So check it, right? What man outside of Adam could ever open his mouth and say Yahuwah birthed you? For him to be as God. Go back to Genesis 3 and 1, man, and listen to the lie the man told.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahuwah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, have Elohim said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden. The woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden, Elohim have said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die.
Lest you die.
And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die. For Elohim do know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened. You shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
See right there, he told him you'll be a god. But later talking about Genesis 6 and 4 when he say the sons of God, God put the daughters of men, but that's Adam's offspring. You know what I'm talking about? Because those sons weren't birthed from Yahuwah. When you look at who's birthed from Yahuwah, like that man told a big lie when I'm mentioning that because that caused a breach in the spirit. They got separated. Because remember this here, right? Let's take a look one more time on the strength. Jeremiah 17 and 7. Now we're really looking at the focus on how this caused a breach. His words caused the breach, which is a fissure or a separation.
That's what got her, because then she saw it was gonna make her wise.
Yeah, she know what I'm saying? He told her you'll be as God is. He didn't say you'll be as God is. He said you will be gods. No, because you know good and evil. Now we've established and we know by the grace of Elohim that tree of knowledge of good and evil is the law. Now where can we go into, you know what I'm talking about, and see that the law will make you a god? Can't find it. Can't see it. Hold on, let me see what I got on there. Like they had to repair the breaches in Jerusalem after Babylon. Yeah, you got to be birthed of the word. Yes, sir. That's why, remember, this is how you know they won't be as God. Very simple thing. Y'all know it. When he said they had to hide the tree of life, what did he say? Let's take a look at it. Genesis 3:22 first and foremost. Genesis 3:22. Listen to him.
So then Yahuwah Elohim said, behold, the man has become as one of us to know good and evil.
Notice that he didn't say man became God. He said he became as one of who?
One of us.
Now tell him what one of us mean, man.
As one is a cod, which is one. And then of us is that's men from out of, on account of.
So it ain't God then.
No, he pretty much saying God became one and he's mad at it.
Yeah, he didn't. I mentioned that because when Yahuwah referenced that, they know he didn't say they were gods. He said they become to be like one of us and know good and evil. Listen what he said. Read it again. Joy.
And Yahuwah Elohim said, behold, the man has become as one of us to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever.
And do what?
And live forever.
So if they would be as gods, they would be able to live forever. See, what she got intrigued on with the live forever was of course, they probably didn't have that understanding. God can't die. So we know that the tree of life would have literally made them as God and not the tree that they took from. This is the perverseness or the crookedness of his speech which caused the breach. Because when the breach was made, what happened? They got separated from God, did they not?
Mm-hmm. They didn't understand what it meant to live forever.
I doubt. I mean, they could have. It would be all speculation and insinuation on our part. You know what I'm saying?
I was just saying, for him to come at them with chill, be wise, like they understood being wise was.
They may or may not. I mean, at the end of the day, no. At the end of the day, they were blind, so they may have not known too much of nothing.
Right. That's what I said. They didn't know they was naked. Niggas throwing words like live forever and be wise. And you like,
It sounds cool. Like I say, for us, it would be all speculation and insinuation at this point. But they had a multitude of trees to eat from. They could have ate from the tree of wisdom. They could have ate from the tree of understanding. You know what I'm talking about? They chose to eat from the law. A reason why I say that? 1 Corinthians 12:3. Talk to him about it. Hey, boy. Hey, you capped out. You capped out. And you know it too.
Wherefore I give you to understand that no man speaking by the Ruach of Elohim, and no man can say that Yahushua is the master, the same Ruach. There are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. There are diversities of operations, but it is the same Elohim which work all in all. But the manifestation of the Ruach is given to every man to profit withal. Mm-hmm. For the one is given by the Ruach the word of wisdom.
So that could have been a tree of wisdom they could have ate from.
To another the word of knowledge.
He could have the tree of knowledge of good and evil, obviously.
By the same Ruach. To another faith by the same Ruach.
That's what the tree of life was.
To another the gifts of healing by the same Ruach.
They could have ate a tree that also. It's only specified those two by name. I'm just mentioning the aspects so we know the fruit is the product of the tree. If you eat from the tree of wisdom, you get the product of what wisdom produced. That's how you're supposed to look at it. Come on.
You say to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another kinds of tongues.
They might have wanted to eat from that tree to discern the spirit.
To another the interpretation of tongues.
That's right.
But all these worked at one in the self same Ruach, providing to every man.
Now I only mention those things for this purpose, because we don't know what those trees were. So we speaking this by permission and not by commandment at what's in the word. It's very well that they didn't partake of those trees that had those fruits on them to be able to combat what this man was talking about. But also at the same token, we do have some insight that maybe they did because she said this is a tree to make one what?
Why?
So how would she know what wisdom was? To even think of it as something that is desirable. You understand? Let's go back to Genesis 3. and 1 more time, and we'll look at the things that she said.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahuwah Elohim had made, and he said unto the woman, Yea, have Elohim said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Mm-hmm.
And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden, Elohim have said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die.
Lest you die.
And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die. For Elohim do know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened. You shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
What else?
When the woman saw that the tree good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make wise, she took of the fruit.
Now we know something, right? Deuteronomy. What you talking about? Oh, you can't get out of that, baby. You locked in. You can't get out of there. Deuteronomy 4:4.
But you that did cleave unto Yahuwah Elohim alive, every one of you this day, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahuwah my Elohim commanded me, that you should do so in the land where you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do for this your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes, and say, surely this great nation, a wise and understanding people.
A what type of people?
A wise and understanding people.
Mm-hmm.
For what nation great, who Elohim near unto them, as Yahuwah Elohim, all we call upon, and all we call upon him. And what nation great that has statutes and judgments, righteous as this law, which I set before you this day.
That's good. I didn't want to show the law make you wise, don't you? Oh man. But do you see this here that now he calls the breach or separation? Isaiah 59:1.
You're not here, but your iniquities have separated between you and your Elohim, and your sins have hid face from you that he will not hear.
Did it not his iniquities in the garden separated? That's the perversion. That's why he come with the wholesome tongue later. How do we know this? Luke 5:29. Oh, you almost took a tumble.
And Levi made him a great feast in his own house, and there was a great company of publicans, of others that sat down with them, but their scribes and Pharisees murmured against his disciples, saying, why do you eat and drink with publicans and sinners? Yahushua answered and said unto them, they that are whole need not a physician.
They that are whole need not a what?
A physician.
They that are whole need not a what?
A physician.
But those that are what?
That are sick.
You see how a wholesome tongue do what? Is as a tree of life. Or health is as a tree of life. So again, Ezekiel 47:12 on general principle. We read it in Revelation last night. We're reading Ezekiel today. Shalom, Jay.
And by the river, upon the bank thereof, on this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his month, because their waters that they issued out of the sanctuary, and the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine.
The leaf thereof for what?
For medicine.
For what?
For medicine.
Tell them what medicine is, man.
Terufah, that's healing.
The leaf thereof for who? Healing. What's a leaf? You like leaves? I'm just saying, do you like leaves?
No.
Oh. Doris, you like tobacco leaves?
Leaf is all A. That's leaf or leafage. A branch.
A branch. Or the branches produce healing. And what did he say his name would be called? The branch. And what he say he came to bring? Healing. And what he came to heal you with? The word. To justify you by what the law of Moses could never do. The law of Moses can't give you the healing that the word gonna give you, what God gonna give you, and the law of Moses can't make you a son of God, obviously. But see, this will offend a lot of brews. Thing, this, that, there, and the third. Brother was just talking about that, man. Bro had asked a real deal question for a lot of brothers, man. We didn't have this conversation before. Man, I thought what Judah Matt asked him, boy, he said, boy, who raised you? Because he was just asking, I would tell him, like, I had a different perspective, My daddy told me some things. My granddaddy taught me some things. My mama taught me some things. My auntie taught me some things. You know what I'm talking about? And then he was like, you know what? Okay, you have a different perspective because you had different influences. He asked the rest of them boys who talked, and one of them boys said, "Boy, my mama was deemed mentally ill. I ain't know my daddy. Ain't nobody taught me nothing. You know what I'm saying?" Another dude say, "Hey, my mama, I ain't even know my daddy. All she did was bring men in and out of the house." You know what I'm saying? Because his question was, who is causing the gender divide? You know, that's what people like to talk about all the time, right? You know what I'm saying? Of course, he agreed with my assessment that it's blame on both sides. But of course, you know, the underlying issue is it's a bunch of people who can't get who they want. You know what I'm saying? Because people who got who they want, they ain't complaining about men, they ain't complaining about women. You know what I'm talking about? Because I got who I want. You know what I'm talking about? But we done had it before. Most people ain't got who they want. They got who they could get. You know what I'm talking about? And that's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? But as we done discussed before, if you raised by one, because what we were really talking about previously was, as a young man, you should never move in a woman's house under no circumstance. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I know some of y'all might have seen that meme when they were popping up talking about if a woman buy a home, she's undateable, and everybody was in their feelings about that. And I can understand that's right. That's why he cursed the fig tree, brother Lane. I can understand the premise behind it. Could you understand the premise why a man would believe if a woman bought a home that she would be undateable?
You asking?
Yes.
Okay. I can see what it's saying.
I'm saying, what do you believe the premise behind that? What would make her undateable?
I don't feel like she's undateable. Niggas will feel like she probably got home and she too masculine to fool around with if she doesn't already want out.
Yeah, and I know more people think that, and that's really a generic way of looking at it, how most people gonna look at it on this here. When you delve into it on what the interaction could be like, that's where you can find out it should be undateable. Because 9 times out of 10, if you get with that woman and she own a home, she gonna want you to buy a bigger and better home than she already has. So if she has a 3-bedroom, 1,700 square foot home, she may want you to buy a 4 to 5 bedroom, 2,500, 3,000 square feet home that you probably can't afford. You know what I'm talking about? And she gonna probably want you to pay for the whole house because she's already done that. You know what I'm talking about? And that's now see, some people look at that. Well, what's wrong with that? Ain't nothing wrong with her buying no home. But you have to realize most men know this because most women don't know that. Most women gonna want you to spend more than what she already has, or she feel like it, her life is becoming lesser. So she want a bigger house and a bigger car. And you like, but do we even need all this? Then it could come into the combating of, if I own a home and you own a home, who gonna give their home up? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of women will say, yeah, we could use my house for a rental property and this, that, that, and the third. But some women don't want to give their home up. And most dudes are more inclined to move in with her and her house.
Yeah, she ain't gonna move in your house
unless it's bigger than hers. Unless it's better than hers. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. That's not all women. But in general, that's usually what's gonna happen. If she got say a house this size, she gonna want a bigger house. Because she gonna feel like, why would I move in a smaller house and I got this house? Now you got to take on more liability. And you may not want to do that. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't mean, because a lot of these dudes were talking about like, that means she's this type of woman, or this doesn't mean she anything. She just means she's a lady who decided I want to buy a house. You know what I'm talking about? Now, all the other stuff ain't got nothing to do because why she got the house, that'll just be her. Because you could be the woman, she got a house, and she'd be like, shoot, man, we could sell it, take the proceeds from my house, and get a better house. You got some women to do, they ain't got no problem with it. My house appraised for $315,000. Man, we could sell it. I can take $100,000 from mine, and you could take $100,000 from yours, and we could pay the down payment and pay down on another house, and it's ours. And she wouldn't have no problem with it. She wouldn't give it down. You know what I'm talking about? Because, hey, shoot, that's what's going to be best for us. The same way you see these people arguing about, I see even ask these women, they say, would you rather have $50,000 for a house or $50,000 for a wedding? And a lot of these hoes were saying they wanted $50,000 for a wedding. And I would have left her right then and there where I found that. Because you got to be stupid. If somebody offering you $50,000 for your life and you would rather have that for a party. What? You don't even need the whole 50. Pocket the rest. Throw that in the bank, baby. You know what I'm talking about? Make that grow, man. You know what I'm talking about? Invest that whole in something. You know, you could take the other 25 and invest 15 and let the other 10 sit. But that's only because we live in America, man. They teach you all this other stuff, man, where it come in at. But you know, if you leave financial decisions up like that to a woman as a man, you're probably gonna be broke every time because she's gonna choose to spend the money. In general, I'm not saying every woman, in general, she's gonna choose to spend the money. I just seen a lady say, what if a woman believes in marriage? And she was talking about legal marriage. I say, baby, what does that mean? I said, what does that mean? I wasn't even being funny because sometimes people make statements and then they think you're being funny when you asking them a clarifying question. What does that mean? Because I think they were taking the conversation differently. I told these people repeatedly, I don't care if you get a marriage license or not. Again, they go back because the lady steady would come in and they like this here, man, like somebody been living with each other for 12 years and got 3-4 kids and they've been living with each other all this time. A marriage license gonna make, they were thinking about the license versus I'm referring to the interaction. You know what I'm talking about? You think their interaction, you think this marriage license is gonna make them more married when they're already moving in that space? That's what they were overlooking and forgetting because people, what did the Lord say? People like to swallow a camel and strain out a what? You know what I'm saying? And you're missing the point. Because it wasn't an advocating for not being married. It was the point of they're married effectively. Do you know what I'm talking about? So you mean to tell me a marriage license is going to change that? You know what the sad part is? That people who already be like that and then they get married, they get divorced not too long after. And I'd be like, well, damn, what changed? Look how you. That's what happened to Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard was with his old lady for over a decade. They got married 2 years ago and they're already divorced. And guess who filed for the divorce? He did. So I was like, damn, was she that bad? Yeah, I'm like, damn, she that bad, bro? Yeah, the lady said, I believe in God, and if it's not from the state, I don't recognize it. I was like, well, then, you still didn't tell me what it is to believe in marriage. What I was really getting to the point is that who defines marriage? The state of such and such or you who? Because if you're defining marriage by a marriage license, then you don't even know what being married is. Clearly, you know what I'm talking about? Which is really what the point that I was trying to make. You really worship Mr. Charlie. This is not about the marriage license. You love Mr. Charlie. You know why you love Mr. Charlie? Because Mr. Charlie gonna give you power in that event. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm talking about power in the dynamic of being married in this particular society. Because now you have leverage over this man that he can't combat. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you'll hear people in society, well, she divorced you and take what? It's not even the fact that she'll take anything. It's that a lot of times a dude gonna have to start over. You don't have to be super rich to get crippled and start over. You know what I'm saying? Because they usually gonna put you out where you live. Now, you see, if you ain't got no real large deal assets, they're not going to take nothing from you, but you're going to get put out where you live. You're going to have to pay for her legal expenses. You know what I'm saying? You very well may have to pay some type of spousal support and court costs, and you got to pay for an attorney. Yeah, it's going to cripple you because the average person don't have that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about the stuff like you see with celebrities. You got to pay $5,000 a month of child support. No, that's not what. So you know when you get divorced, you got to pay for her lawyer. Nigga tell you they don't want to be with you, and I got to pay for you to not be me. That's tough right there, man. And you ain't, hell, you like this here, I ain't got no money to pay this nigga. Much less pay your lawyer. I can't pay mine. Some people get lost in others' opinions. Yeah, I was just like this here, man. It's like, come on, man. Do you love this nigga? Or do you love the state? And I believe a lot of people, they love the state. They love Mr. Charlie, man. They talk trash about America all day, but Uncle Sam is all right with them. That's all. That's all my whole point is. Stop talking about white supremacy if you love Mr. Charlie. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear it. Because that's what black women like to say in America, don't they? They say we be on the front line when the police do something to you. But then when it comes to certain other elements of white supremacy, you with it though. See, you either against it or you with it. There's no in between. You can't be like, I don't like white supremacy over here, but I'm fine with it over there. That's just my whole point. Don't talk about white supremacy and then pick and choose the elements of white supremacy that work for you. Now, if you don't speak against white supremacy, then I ain't talking to you. You know what I'm talking about? I'm only talking about when the niggas get on the internet and talk about it. The same way a lot of black folks like free Palestine. What you care about freeing Palestine for? Them people don't give a damn about you. I'm dead serious. You know what I'm talking about? How many Palestinians you ever heard say free niggas? Stop oppressing them niggas. I'm not finna be around here talking about free Palestine. That's none of my business. Them center problems. Yeah, I don't get involved in things that don't. You think if somebody would, I remember they got mad at LeBron James because he wasn't saying nothing about what was going on with the Chinese. If I was LeBron James, I'd be like, I ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't Chinese, nigga. I ain't heard no Chinese people stand up and say, stop doing them black folks like that. So you want me to do it? Because I dribble a basketball? Man, bump them niggas. I get money with them niggas. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to say. It ain't got nothing to do with my people. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Because if you got to understand something on the geopolitical side, people are only going to speak up on behalf of people who they are aligned with. That's why every time something go down, Russia always jump up and say, I'm down with Iran, and vice versa. Because they aligned. But you don't see Iran jumping up and saying, I don't like what they're doing in Hong Kong, because I don't give a damn. That ain't got nothing to do with me. So I don't care. It's not that I don't care about Palestinians. It's not that I don't care about whatever was going on with the Chinese at the time. I'm not aligned with them. That's none of my business. That's an issue between them people over there. You know what I'm saying? See, it'd be different, right? Native Quran lived overseas. So if something went down where they was at, we may not give a damn about everybody around them in general, just them two. You know what I'm talking about? Because we align with them when we say just them two, meaning who they care about also. You know what I'm talking about? They family, they friends. But as a whole, that ain't got nothing to do with us. We only care about the people who we align with. I don't know them people to be around here speaking up on their behalf and on their cause. I don't know them people. I don't know what's going on. You been to Palestine? I ain't never been to Palestine. You been over there with them? You had some baklava? You ate you a gyro over there? I ain't ate none. You had you a pita? I ain't had nothing. You had you a Mediterranean salad? That ain't none of my business then. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, they all serve around us. They said they the same. I know it is. They ain't got no food. That's why I ain't mentioned none. You know what I'm saying? You think I'm gonna be like this here? I seen a dude say the Israelis are now occupying, they own the land. And I had to tell him, the land will never be sold forever. For the land is mine. But you telling them lies talking about the people own that land. You lying bastard. You know what I'm talking about? And try to use word to justify that they owned it. You is occupying, ho. Hell, you mean you lying dog snot face bastard? You know what I'm talking about? Come on, man. Where you at?
Ezekiel 47.
Oh, yeah, we just read verse 12. So it said that the leaf produced healing, correct? That's what it said, right? So let's see what the healing is. You know where we're going. Galatians 5:21. Bub, what you got going on? Why you got a do-rag on? You trying to get some waves?
I don't.
Is that silk?
No.
Satin?
No.
Patent?
No.
Cotton?
No.
Rotten?
No.
Oh. That's why they be tripping. They did the same thing during the times of Persia when we rebuilt the temple in the cities of Judah. Yeah, no doubt, Ron. That's what it is. Like, that's our brother. We're gonna be concerned. But like if they was around here, they blowing up stuff in the UK and such and such, such and such. Quran ain't affiliated with them groups, so we wouldn't give a damn. I would wait till he'd probably look at them same thing. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I bet he ain't gonna be around there talking about free the Irish Liberation Army. That nothing to do with me. I was just having a conversation, man. You know, I don't know if y'all know the dude, man, Stephon Diggs, right? Played for the Buffalo Bills, wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Them boys got whooped decent the other night. You know what I'm talking about? And his brother had posted on Twitter, they need to let 14, we need to get 14 up out of here. So Then he came back the next day and say, Josh Allen, you trash. And you only started playing good when my brother got there. So these niggas was on Fox Sports Radio claiming that Stephon Diggs should hold his brother more accountable for what his brother said. And I was like, how can another grown man be more accountable for what another man said? Well, we know that he wouldn't have said that unless his brother told him to say it. I say, come on, how you even know that? Shannon Sharpgate, I don't give a damn what Shannon. You don't know if that man told his brother to say that. And even if he did tell his brother to say it, his brother didn't have to. How many of y'all done told somebody, man, don't mention something, and they may have mentioned it anyway? Is you accountable for it because you told them something and they said it? Or is they accountable for saying it? First thing out was he told me he didn't dispel it. Dispel what? What is there to dispel? He said, we need to get him up out of here. That means his brother feel like, nigga, you need to get up out of here. I said, you ain't never thought his brother could have just been upset at the time and he don't like the situation his brother in and spoke for himself? No, see, this white man literally told me, if you believe that, I got a bridge in Oregon to say it. I said, if you believe another man is responsible for another man's words and actions, I see your jacket. Because I ain't responsible for what he say out his mouth. I wouldn't care if I told him, man, I hate this doggone job. I hate coming over here. And then he tell the homeowner, he said he hate coming over here. So who I'm a hold responsible? The homeowner come to me like this. Did you tell him to say it? It don't matter if I told him to say it. Talk to him why he said it. I didn't say it. What you coming to me for? I don't come talking to me about what somebody else said. How am I responsible for that? Is Yahuwah coming to you talking about what your wife said? What your husband said? Let me ask you a question. Well, is Lot responsible for his wife turning to a pillar of salt? She didn't want to look back. Man, people crazy as all. And it was the fact that they were grown men arguing that for these same doggone radio sports talking points. We know full well if he would have said it, his brother had to talk. I'm like, damn, the nigga tweeted it right after the game, bro.
Nigga try to hold Adam accountable for EE.
But these people literally said, the junk was literally saying he should hold his brother. He should be held more accountable for what his brother said. Why he didn't say this or say that. I said, man, I'd have told a nigga they'd ask, your brother tweeted this here. Well, if you want to know why he said it, ask him. I'm not talking to you about what my brother said. As he should have, like a grown man supposed to. Go talk to my brother about that. I'm not talking to you about what he said. If you want to know what that's how I know he ain't telling to say it. Because that's what a grown man gonna tell you. Don't come stepping to me about what another man said, asking me about why did your brother say this. Ask him. You know what I told to do? You know what really came to my mind? What's in John 9? Y'all remember what's in John 9? When the man got healed from his blindness and they went and talked to his parents, they say, man, whether he's a sinner or not, we don't know. He grown. Ask him. He can speak for himself. Get it for him so you see what I'm talking about. John chapter 9, man, verse 12. What you lay it out for, man? You got your granddaddy pants on. Shoot, lying to me.
Then said they unto him, where is he? He said, I know not. They brought to the Pharisees him that aforetime was blind. And it was a Shabbat day when Yahushua made the clay and opened his eyes. Then again, the Pharisees also asked him how he had received his sight. He said unto them, he put clay upon my eyes, and I washed and do see. Therefore said some of the Pharisees, this man is not of Elohim, because he keep not the Shabbat day. Others said, how can a man that is a sinner do such miracles?
How can a man who's a sinner do such things?
And there was a division among them.
They separated.
They say unto the blind man again, what say you of him that he have opened your eyes? He said, he's a prophet.
That's right.
But the Yahudim did not believe concerning him that he had been blind, received his sight, until they called the parents of him that had received his sight.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked him, saying, is this your son whom you say was born blind?
Mm-hmm.
How then do we now see? His parents answered them and said,
what he said?
We know that this is our son and that he was born blind.
By what means?
He now see, we know not. Or who have opened his eyes, we know not.
He is of what?
He is of age.
He is of what?
Of age.
Do what?
Ask him.
Ask who?
Ask him.
And he gonna do what?
Speak for himself.
Come on, man. You know what the hell you look like asking me about what this other man said? Ask him. Ask me about why this nigga said this. Well, he was talking about you. I wouldn't care who he was talking about. Ask him why he said it. That's how you know a lot of niggas on the radio hold. Because that's what a grown man should have did. Rewind. And I told this dude this. His brother's out for the season. So this man probably watching here like, man, my brother team trash. Hell, I don't want to keep coming around here watching this junk, man. You know what the white folks made it out to be? He wanted to leave Buffalo. The man said, I never said that. I never said one time I wanted to do any of these things. Well, why you blowing up on the sideline? Because we losing. It bothers me, nigga. I didn't say that to show you how they frame narratives and make situations be more than what it is. Because that's what the nigga supposed to say. And I'd have told the nigga, don't you ask me no more questions about my brother. If you want to know what my brother said and why he said it, go find him and ask him. He's supposed to denounce what his brother said. How am I denounce my brother saying my quarterback was trash till I got here? That's my brother's opinion, and he entitled to that. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Galatians 5:22. Oh, this ain't for babies.
Say, but the fruit of the Ruach is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Wow. Now I'm going to get to Proverbs 3. We started last night. I ain't finished. I want you to hear that. With them fruits of the spirit and keep them in mind. Because it say wholesome words is as a tree of life, and that life give, and that leaf give healing, or that branch give healing. The healing is the things that are just mentioned. That means the words that are preached should produce those things in order for you to get what? Healing. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Proverbs 3:1.
My son, forget not my law.
I got you, because you're going to have to work. I just ain't get that out fast enough because I was trying to get the aftertaste of that premium out my mouth. My son, forget not my law, but let your heart keep my instructions for length of days and long life, and shalom shall they add to you. Let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind you about your neck. Write them upon the table of your heart. Now, we talked about that last night. You understand? See, you got to have that man word on the tables of your heart. To continue. Verse 4. So that you shall find favor and good understanding in the sight of Elohim and man. Notice. Tell him what favor is. You over here farting, though? I'm not. Why are you smiling so hard? You stink, man.
That's kane, that's favor, mercy, charm, elegance, acceptance.
How is he going to accept you? He says, you shall do good, you shall be what?
Acceptance.
Go back to Romans 8:18, man. We ain't finished that. Now, both of y'all over here farting. Y'all going to have to go.
Okay, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time not worthy with the esteem which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature wait for the manifestation of the sons of Elohim. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly.
Made subject to what?
To vanity.
Not what?
Willingly,
okay.
But by reason of him who hath subjected him in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the esteemed liberty of the sons of Elohim.
To the esteemed what?
Liberty. The sons of Elohim. For we know that the whole creation groan and travail and pain together until now. And not only, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Ruach, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, the redemption of our body.
Go ahead.
For we are saved by hope, but hope that is not seen is not hope. For what a man see, why do we yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, do we with patience wait for? Like,
why you tell? Why? Guess what? He say, with that, with patience, if we see not, why do we yet what? They were blind in the garden. They ain't even had no idea what they were hoping for. They had no idea of the expectation of reward they were going to receive. And that was a parallel for us later. On general principle, Isaiah 64:4. Oh, you a toucher. You a toucher? You.
Also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them.
That's not Isaiah 64:4.
I thought you said 66:4.
Isaiah 64:4.
For since the beginning of the world have not heard nor perceived by the ear, neither have the eye seen, O Elohim, beside you, he hath prepared for him that wait for him.
See that? And you want him to open your eyes so you can do what? Behold wondrous things out of your law. You know why? John 9:37.
Yahushua said unto him, you have both seen him, and it is he that talked with you. And he said, Master, I believe. And he worshipped him. And Yahushua said, for judgment I am come not into this world, that they which see not might see, and they that which see might be made blind. And of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words and said unto him, are we blind also?
Are we what?
Blind also?
Are we what?
Blind also? Yahushua said unto them, if you were blind, you should have no sin.
If you were what?
Blind, you should have no sin.
In the garden, were they blind? Did they have sin? Listen to them.
But now you say we see, therefore your sin remains.
Didn't it say their eyes were open, did it?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? They sin remained, did it not? Do you see how he was trying to take you back to the space when you was in the garden? Read it for him again.
Yahushua said unto them, if you were blind, you should have no sin.
I want to go back to Genesis chapter 3. I got you. Give me 3 and 6.
And when the woman saw that the tree good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open.
The eyes were what?
Were open.
Were what?
Open. And they knew that they were naked.
They knew that they were what?
Were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
Because if he said, if you sin, you see your sin do what? That means you know it's there. But if you were blind, you ain't got no sin. When they were blind, did they have sin? Clearly, you just seen it. They didn't have none. Come back to John 9:37. Oh, he told them what you were trying. Indeed, he did. Indeed, he did. Come on with me now.
So that was the end of that.
No, I said, right at John 9:37. Read again.
Yahushua said unto them, you have both seen, and it is he that talked with you. And he said, Master, I believe, and he worshipped him. Yahushua said, for judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and they that which see might be made blind.
Are we blind also?
And some of the Pharisees with him heard these words and said unto him, are we blind also? Yahushua said unto them, if you were blind, you should have no sin. But now you say we see,
therefore
your sin remains.
You know, a lot of rude boy, they say they see, therefore they sin, ever present. It's ever present. You know why it's ever present? Because Adam and them knew what they did. When you can say you see and your sin remain, you know what you did. But when you're blind, you ain't got no sin. So what would that take us to? Let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 1, man. Give him verse 4. This is what it'll tell you. Where's my money at?
Greatly desiring to see you, being mindful of your tears, that I may be filled with joy. When I call to remembrance the unfeigned faith that is in you, which dwelt first in your grandmother Lois and your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded that in you also. Wherefore I put you in remembrance that you stir up the gift of Elohim, which is in you by the putting on of my hands. For Elohim have not given us the ruach of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
Sound mind.
Be not you therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me his prisoner, but be you partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of Elohim.
That's my bad. I got you in the wrong spot. It's 1 Timothy 1. I do that every time. I'm talking about every time, consistently for a decade. In 1 Timothy 1 and 4.
And neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions rather than godly edifying, which is in faith. Now the end of the commandment is...
You see, rather than godly what?
Edifying.
Which is in what?
In faith.
Come on.
Now the end of the commandment is charity out of a pure heart and a good conscience and a faith unfeigned.
From which
some having swerved have turned aside unto vain jangling.
Vain jangling.
Desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm.
But we know that the law is what?
Good.
Ain't that what we see in the Genesis? Come on.
If a man use it lawfully.
Knowing
this, that the law is not made for a righteous man.
Was the law made for Adam? He told him don't touch it. So that means that guess what that make Adam? And then why is he a righteous man? Because he's a son of God. What would he need that for? What would he need it for? That's why he say if you be blind, then you have no sin. You know what I'm talking about? Adam didn't have no sin because he was blind, because he was a righteous man. He was made righteous from the off. How do we know that? Ecclesiastes 7:27. It might be 20. I ain't gonna hurt nothing. Hell, you can make it Ecclesiastes 7:20.
For not a just man upon earth that do good and sin not.
There's not a just man, righteous man on the earth that do good and sin not.
Also take no heed unto all the words that are spoken, lest you hear your servant curse you. For oftentimes also your own heart know that you yourself likewise have cursed others. All this have I proved by wisdom. I said I would be wise, but it was far from me. That which is far off and exceeding deep, who can find it out?
That which is far off and what?
Exceeding deep.
Who can do what?
Find it out.
From Romans 11:33. Who can find that out? Can you find it out, Doris? Can you find it out, Civic? Who can find it?
Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of Elohim. How unsearchable his judgments.
How what?
Unsearchable his judgments, and his ways past finding out. For
His ways past what?
Finding out.
Paul, come on back, right? So we still hold to Proverbs 3, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So when you take that into account, right? He said that is, which is a far off and exceeding deep. Because he say it's not, he say it's up there in heaven, you can't get it, right? He say it's not under the ground where you can raise him from the dead, but he say, but it's in your heart and in your mouth that you might have his word and do it. Continue. He said that's the word of faith which we preach.
I applied my heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness.
I found more bitter
than death the woman
whose heart
snares and nets
her hands
bands
whoso
please Elohim
shall escape
from her,
but the sinner
shall be taken by her.
Behold,
this have I found, saith the preacher,
one by one,
to find out the account,
which yet my soul
seek, but I find not.
One man among 1,000
have I found,
but a woman among all,
those have I not found.
Lo, this only have I found,
that Elohim have made man upright.
He made man what?
Upright.
He made man what?
Upright.
And man,
they have sought out many inventions.
He said he made man upright. And when you turn around and look at it, when you look at how Adam's dealing was in the garden, he was upright. Well, he ate the tree. He wasn't in the transgression, nor was he deceived. He sacrificed his life. What's more upright than that? Tell him what upright is by definition in that. Get out your feelings, man. Because you know a lot of people take Adam and Eve for their gender war battles also. We don't do that around here. So if you around here clenching your teeth and stamping your feet, talking about, I seen, did you, and I tell you I showed you with them niggas talking about the Bible bars, and they had a Bible battle between somebody supposed to be Adam and Eve, and the woman who would be Eve was like, oh, you want to be a protector now. No, I ain't really a protector. You supposed to protect yourself, huh?
That's your shower.
Straight. Correct. Upright. Level. That's what it's saying. He made man straight. That's not to take away from the woman. You know why? You know why I don't take away from them? When they say the woman is the weaker vessel, what you think that means? Because you would be the weaker vessel as it pertains to Yahuwah. Because you come from Yahuwah, that means you come out of something. You think you're going to be the best part if you come out of something? You think you're going to be strong as or stronger of that which you emanate from? No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. So a woman has more proclivity to folly. When you look at man, man has more proclivity to folly as compared to Yahuwah. Does not the book of Ecclesiastes say that repeatedly? How man is inclined to folly? And how man, his whole state altogether is what? Vanity. So you know what I'm saying? So again, it's the same thing on the different side of the coin as far as interaction. A woman is more prone to folly in dealing with a man. A man is more prone to folly in dealing with Yahuwah. You know what I'm talking about? That man say, I know your frame, it is but what? Dust. I already know how stupid you can be. I already know what your heart is privy to. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Before she even did that, she should have went and said, hey, man, this nigga teaching me this here and you taught me this. What do I do? Not make the decision for yourself. Which goes to the point I've been told y'all that the natural thought process that women are naturally submissive is a lie. Because she didn't submit to her husband or you. Your husband shouldn't have to be there for you to submit if he done gave you the instructions on what you're supposed to do. You mean to tell me he got to make you do it? That go back to the point what I was talking about with Stephon Diggs and his brother. How is Adam responsible for what she did? He's not responsible for what she did. He was only responsible for what he did. She's only responsible for what she did. Because at the end of the day, now, when Yahuwah stepped to, he didn't step to Eve, though. I'm stepping to you. And you know why I'm stepping to you? Because I gave the instruction to you. I didn't get to her. I don't want to talk to her. That's yours. You deal with her. I'm dealing with you because you mine. Yeah, she mine too, but you know what I'm talking about. I gave dominion, rule, and authority to who? So I'm talking to you. I gave my instruction to who? Adam. I'm talking to you. I don't want to talk to her. Talk to her for what? You know what I'm saying? See, we don't be wanting to hear that. Because at the end of the day, if she wanted to be, come on, man, we done talked about this 1,000 times. That woman read the word right back to the servant. She said it right back to him. So can't nobody tell me, I don't be wanting to hear that crap when she said, well, God said we shouldn't eat of the tree. Ain't nothing else to talk about. She knew what to do. She knew what to do. But she let what she wanted to do override what she should have done. So most women are not going to follow nothing if it's not demanded for them to follow it. Because I guarantee you right now, most of y'all, if you ain't had no word and you ain't had no man that demanded anything from you, you're going to be out here doing exactly what you want to do. If you want to go outside and bra and panties to go to the store, you do it. Because that's what I want to do. I'm saying that because that's what these women say then. Ain't y'all ever heard Megan Thee Stallion when she was on stage talking about it's my body, I do what I want to with it? You don't even want no woman who think like that. You do what you want to with it. So maybe you'll have sex with a horse. You know the sad part is you got grown men think that's cool because a woman a lesbian. She like girls, bro. I like girls who like girls. So you a degenerate is what you're telling. Man, if a woman told me she was around here talking about, yeah, I'd have messed with a girl or two, I'd be disgusted. That wouldn't be no woman I would ever consider for no wife. You like to eat coochie. You nasty. I know if you'd have been in the room with a woman doing that, you'd have been in an orgy. Somebody done ran a dime on you. Oh, yeah, you ain't even finna tell me no different. If you like to do all that freaky stuff with them hoes, boy, you'd have been in a situation where somebody been drunk, somebody been on some ecstasy pill, and y'all had an orgy and somebody ran a dime on you. You know what I'm talking about? Because I done been around too many chicks who've been on that for me to know that that's highly likely. Am I saying it's 100% accurate? Absolutely not. But you naive as all out though. If you around a woman and she around here talking about she fooling with lesbian chick and you don't think somebody done ran a dime on her while she was in there with one of them bras. Nigga, that's sexual degeneracy. Nigga, anything goes. You think they gonna draw the line at a train? She eating coochie. She ain't got no, she Master P, nigga. She ain't got no limits, man. She ain't got none. Well, once you start talking, once you creep over into the homosexual range, you ain't got no limits. But you know what's weird? You hear a man say, I don't care if she been with a woman before. Let you tell a woman, a man, you get bend over, you doing the bending. She ain't fooling with you. You know what I'm talking about? You should have the same attitude for a woman. So you were getting licked or you were doing the licking. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. Well, that jump was funny. But I'll never forget that scene. I ain't even watched that movie. I just see the clip over and over again. How Janet Jackson was looking at this nigga. Oh, so you doing the bending. Boy, I believed her that she was disgusted. You know what I'm talking about?
What that was, a two?
No, that was a Tyler Perry movie.
What?
Oh, girls.
Oh, yeah, no one night seen that.
Now it was a large film. I've seen the whole. I've seen the film before, but I don't recall it. But I can just say, like seeing the clips and bringing it back to mind. I believe it. You know what I'm talking about? I believed in that moment. I bought what she was selling. I really believed that she was a woman who was thoroughly and utterly disgusted that her husband was a homosexual. You know what I'm saying?
You want to watch it?
I haven't.
No, yeah,
Let
I'm
me see.
saying.
We'll watch it.
I mean, I haven't. I've only seen it
It
once.
was a lot of like monologue and poetry. It was a lot, and it's very heavy.
And that's why everybody depressed.
It's everybody depressed. It's very heavy.
All I know is she was looking at this nigga. How long you been gay? That whole hit that nigga. He talking about ain't nobody bending me over. That's what he said. The dude Amari Hardwick, that's what he said. Ain't nobody bending me over. She looked at that nigga. Yeah, she looked at that nigga. So you doing the bending? Hey, it's how she looked at that nigga. So you doing the bending? I say, damn, cuz she got you there. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga said that junk so serious. Ain't nobody bending me over. Nigga, you a faggot. You know what I'm saying? That junk remind me. I told y'all what that nigga said on Law and Order. That nigga say, I'm not gay. I have heterosexual relationships with women, and sometimes I have sex with men. And I got news for you. That means you're gay. Hey, that nigga said, I got news for you. That's hilarious, man. You know what I'm saying? Man? I even forgot what I was talking about, man. That nigga had me tripping down. Now that nigga said, so you doing the bending. You know what I'm saying? But now all those times, man, you got people, man, when you participate in degenerate behavior, shoot, what else am I supposed to think? I'm supposed to be like, nah, you washed in the blood, you washed with God, you ain't washed to be my wife. Not if you've been around. I don't want to be married to no woman and she telling me she been around here licking on women, man. Horn is one thing, licking on coochie is another. I have to draw the line somewhere. You got to draw the line somewhere. Because you can look at that all you want to. But if a nigga came and told you that he wasn't doing the bending, that he was the bendee, you ain't overlooking that. You're going to be like, well, he with God now. You ain't thinking about none of that. He ain't washed or nothing. You're going to be like, nah, girl, I can't fool with him. That nigga say he used to get bent. What, he used to drink a lot? No, not that kind of bent. No, man, you can't do that. That's some you got. No. Hey, there's somebody for you, baby. Patti LaBelle told you, it's somebody love you, baby. Just not me. Just not me. You got to draw the line somewhere. Would you marry a nigga who told you he was the bendee? So why he got to marry a woman who was the licky? You got your liquor license? Remember that nigga said? You know what I'm talking about? It's not different.
I'm saying it's so different. I guess maybe a woman who had a bunch.
It's not different because it's both signs of mental degeneracy. You know what I'm saying? See, you looking at the acts are different. I'm looking at the mindset that led you to the acts are the same. You both have a perverse mind. Something got in your mind and told you, you know what? I want to put my mouth on a woman's body in an appropriate fashion. I want to simulate what you do with a woman with a man. Something wrong with you. And now you want that person to come in your house and birth your children? Yeah, now you coming in the house thinking there's something going on, and it's two girls in the bed wrestling. They scissoring. Now look at you. You got niggas who be doing that. I want to do a threesome. Niggas get left. She left with the broad. Now he mad. I brought the girl around here. You shouldn't have been nasty, nigga. Look where he got you. For real. You seen how T.I. was about to go to jail. Now he want to build houses and apartments, try to cover up the fact you around here nasty. I seen niggas jumping up and down for Puffy. He settled. You don't even know if that woman was telling the truth. That's how I know you niggas evil as hell. Because just because that woman filed a lawsuit, you just believed her. I don't know what happened. I ain't had no thought. You know what I'm talking about? Would I put it past Puffy? No. Would I put it past her to lie? No. You know why? Because I wasn't there. So I don't know what he did. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I mean, he did what rich people do. Let me pay that off. Somebody told me he ain't pay his Illuminati bill. I know this here. If a nigga was, somebody said Puffy must ain't pay his Illuminati bill. He got sued by Cassie. He said Cassie claimed that Puffy used to beat her up and that he used to pay for male prostitutes. This is no exaggeration. This was what was in the lawsuit from a site that's called Black Men with Long Penises, and that he would sit there. No, I'm dead serious. Yeah, that's what they had on there. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm not making that up. That wasn't for joke or comedic effect, unfortunately. And that he would sit there and watch her get ramrodded by another man and film it and masturbate at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't put that in there. See, I don't think that he did that. I think he told her to call the prostitutes for him and told her to film him. You know what I'm talking about? That's just my personal opinion. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? They call me. Let me take a shot. You know what I'm saying? But all jokes aside, though, we like to blame without examining. Remember what this man told you in John 7:24? What he told you? Who know what John 7:24 say? Huh? No, not necessarily. Get it for him, sir. He did say that on the back end, but it's one thing on the front end that's the most important. John 7:24.
Say, judge not according to the appearance.
Don't judge according to how it look.
But judge righteous judgment.
That means you got to judge based off of the word and then with a just weight and a just balance. You can't judge something on how it look. But me personally, if all the things that Cassie claimed this nigga did to him, that nigga would be going to prison. I'm not suing you. I'm seeking criminal charges first. I'll sue you afterwards. You going to jail. You know what I'm talking about? Based on what she said this nigga did to her, you going to jail. Because if you get your funky behind on the stand, if you willing to sue a nigga to get on the stand for a few million, you a goddamn lie. If I ain't gonna get on the stand for you to get 20, 30 years. Because if a nigga made me get ramrodded about men and I ain't want to get ramrodded about, you going to jail. Bump all that other junk you talking about. Man, you going to jail.
Hey.
Well, see, when you do a situation like that, it lessens the effect on people who that's actually happening to. No, it don't. Nigga telling a bold face lie. No, because that's a lie. Because the reason being is this is why people go civil, because it's for money. And in a civil case, the preponderance of standard of guilt or innocence is substantially low. See, when you go to criminal trial, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. They don't have to prove anything beyond a reasonable anything in the civil trial. You don't really have to prove too much of nothing in a civil trial. She did that for money. If a nigga abused me in the fashion that she said she was abused, that nigga going to jail. I'm finna make sure this nigga go to jail. You know what I'm talking about? Because that would be way more important than me than some money. This nigga give you some money so he free to do it to another person? No, I would want that nigga behind the wall, nigga. Or at the bare minimum, if this information is gonna be exposed, I want it to be exposed in a criminal trial with the opportunity this nigga go to jail, not for a few dollars. Not for a few dollars. Because if you had really been sexually abused, you had really been sexually assaulted, money is not going to make you feel better. That's not justice for you. Now, most women sue in civilly after a sexual assault after a nigga done beat the case criminally. And they like, nah, this nigga got to suffer something. She ain't never go to the police. And this 10 years later, you married to a whole nother man with kids. Now you pop up, this nigga did this to me, and that nigga would have went to jail. As soon as I'd have got me a new man, I'd have told this nigga going to jail today. I'm pressing charges. This nigga did it. Lock him up.
I don't know if he did or not, but it just seemed like everything coming out. But I would
Indeed.
say this, that everything what you said, I do agree with. But sometimes when it comes to rape and trauma like that, sometimes a woman won't have the courage to come out to 10, 15 years later. Just think about all the women that got touched on as teenagers.
No, I get that.
They ain't gonna come out like, hey, he did something, I'm going to the police right now. But sometimes that's not take bravery, courage, all that stuff, and therapy. Then you be like, I got the strength to do that. So this situation.
I ain't talking about her not speaking on it. I'm talking about suing.
I'm saying going to the police, like you said.
But I'm talking about suing Why you going to a civil lawyer versus pressing charges?
Why you not going to the police? You going to the lawyer, you not going to the police.
Nah.
If it was that bad.
Statute of limitations ain't ran out. It depending on most. It's only a handful of cases got statute of limitations.
Yeah, but even like 10 years later,
This nigga live in your brain.
That's what any of us will say because we so motivated by money and not justice.
No, he got bread.
but that's what I'm saying.
You got bread. You was getting bread the whole time.
So I'm gonna ask this question: do you believe that if a person went through that some niggas would be like, shoot, even though it happened, I take this bread. One thing people think.
That mean that junk ain't bother you like that.
Oh, I agree. I just said
It ain't bother you like that. Or you were lying or you exaggerating. Because somebody who's actually been assaulted, they want justice.
Right. And she
I
been
guess I
getting
feel like the important people
she
saying
was getting paid off though.
I feel like for all the stuff he's gotten away with thus far, what would make her really believe?
Well, we don't know what he's gotten away with because really all we have is speculation and insinuation on what we believe have been based off of people's allegations, which is only one witness of the allegation. So we really don't know what this man has done or what he hasn't done.
So that's what the wife said. Like, you take me
That's your perimeter. That's what you just said. I ain't got nothing to prove it, so I can't.
And she said that he's paid off so many people.
I don't want your money. I don't want nothing from you. I want you to go to jail. We saying that because you ain't never been violated. I've been around people who've been violated, man. The people don't want no money. They want that nigga to suffer. Nigga, I want you to go to, I don't want your goddamn money, nigga. I want you in a 6x9 cell with a nigga named Nasty Nate.
I was just saying, look, the powerful people.
Look, I would say you look at the Tory Lane situation. He supposed to shot her, and that nigga got jail. I'm saying the Tory Lane situation.
That nigga doing 10.
They do it, feel me? They went harder for that situation. Her just getting shot besides them getting raped. That's what happened. But not at first. They had proof of it. Yeah, but I'm just saying how the people going harder for that. Man, baby got raped and this and that.
I think they going harder in regards because it's Puffy and niggas don't like Puffy. Lisa say definitely don't want no money. Yeah, somebody done violated you, man. I'm talking about like, but this woman say she on numerous occasions was physically assaulted and forced to have sex with male prostitutes. I don't want your money, man. I don't want your money, man. I don't want your money. I promise I don't.
So you think she want to get nothing?
I want justice.
She had an album. She get money the whole time. The money was blinding her, but she kept doing it. Then now you tired of it. Now you got trauma because you're old. Now you tired of get
money right now.
Yeah, the money gone. Now the money gone. Now you want some more money. But that's what it looks like.
Wow,
you can say that, but that's what it looks like. That's all I'm saying. We just don't know what we see. That's what it looks like.
It don't make sense to us, but like she said, he tried.
Some people do, some people
Though,
don't.
it's not no person with trauma. This nigga with bread, and you got access to a lot of
But I
people.
feel like the money don't mean nothing to you. That money don't mean nothing to her when she get beat across her head. Like, who cares? But if you're scared,
Man, it's broke folks get beat across their head with no money, don't say nothing. So I don't understand what I'm saying. I know. You feel me? I know.
No, she said,
Listen,
calm down. See, you're getting too emotional. You got to think logically.
No, I was just saying, I was going to use an example like
You gotta think logically.
got threatened, and then when Kid Cudi says car got blown.
Yeah, nigga, car get blown. Nigga, somebody got to go to jail. Nigga, try to kill me.
But where's the proof?
I'm just saying, you making all these accusations about a nigga blowing up a nigga car. Definitely ain't no statutes of limitations blowing up a nigga car. Okay, but I get all that. That nigga going to jail. Man, if a nigga try to blow up my goddamn car, that nigga got to go to Sing Sing,
So
man.
they hope they probably try.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's the people that they're trying to get justice going against you.
I don't doubt it.
About Wale getting dangled on the balcony.
Oh, that was Wale they claim got dangled on the balcony.
Who did that? Who did that nigga like red?
It be stuff like that, man.
Right. Oh, the pop thing. Man, it ain't hard. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you. I'm be honest with y'all, right? I'm be honest with you. It ain't hard to touch nobody. If them people want you in a jail cell, they can get you in a jail cell. You know what I'm saying? They got too many. If they want you locked up, you get locked up. You know what I'm talking about? What I'm saying is bump celebrity. Toss all that celebrity, all that extra stuff out the window. If a nigga is physically assaulting you, threatening your life, attempting to take a life, I don't want your money. I want you in jail. Ain't enough money you could pay me. You know what I'm saying? Ain't enough money you could pay me.
If he's free, he can do it again.
Just like this here, right? When you take O.J. Simpson, right? The family only filed a wrongful death suit because he didn't go to prison. Because if he would have went to prison, then people probably wouldn't have filed a wrongful death suit. They were like, damn, he ain't go to prison. We want somebody to acknowledge that he did something. See, they didn't even try to settle with O.J. You file a lawsuit on Friday and settle before close of business Friday? Now think about that for a moment. If it was really about putting out there what type of person this is, you filed the lawsuit Friday morning, Thursday morning, whenever you filed it, and you settled it that night. You wanted some money. You ain't give a damn about no trauma. You probably quite exaggerated. Niggas know that Puffy is kinky, nasty, and perverted, and you were probably with it. And
what her name is? Aaliyah was with what you call it?
I doubt it. I doubt it. Because she wasn't never successful. Oh, was never successful.
Wanted to be.
She was never
young
successful.
teenager, you want to be famous. This nigga done made you famous. You dropped the album, got 2 singles.
So she just
All this is what you got out of the
Life ain't fair.
All this is what you got out of the
Life ain't fair. Life's not fair. Groomed for what? Groomed for what? But groomed for what?
She did.
She didn't have to do nothing.
Right. She wanted what she got.
But that's like a
Some
But regardless, but child or not a child, you can always say no.
It's not that simple.
No, but listen here, right? Listen here, right? We make a lot of excuses. It's always that simple. You know why it's not simple? Because you're looking at what you think you're going to lose. And that's why it's not simple. So what you think this nigga going to take from you, you weigh that more important than your dignity and self-respect. It's not just that women go through this, because men in them situations go through this the same token. They go through it the same token. Yeah, the niggas
they wanted to be famous, bro.
No, listen what I'm telling you. You got to strip all the emotion out of the play. You got to strip gender out of the play. Every decision is simple. Now, what becomes difficult is what you may lose or gain from the choice.
Right.
That's when it becomes, oh, it's not that simple. Because this man is providing a lifestyle, he's providing fame, he's providing money, he's providing all of these things. Well, I'm not getting on that because I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I don't doubt the nigga did any of this. This nigga's a degenerate. But that's not the point. The point is this: if you didn't want to do it, you can say no and take the L. You don't want to take the L, but then you want to complain about what you endured when you could have walked away. Okay, but you stand there getting raped and beaten because the nigga dropping $250,000 a month on you. The same way this whole talking about she letting this nigga piss on her.
She with it.
No different.
You know what I'm talking about? You let a nigga piss on you because he giving you $250,000 a month. When you could just say, hell no, you're not going to piss on me. My self-respect is more important than that. And that's where the problem come in at. A lot of women will sacrifice their self-respect for the benefit of being with a wealthy, powerful man instead of leaving. Because you can leave. That nigga wasn't holding you hostage. But you can always leave. Let's stop making excuses for grown people. You can leave. You don't have to stay. You're going to have to lose the benefit, though. You're not going to get to walk the red carpet with Puff no more. You're not going to get to ride in the Rolls Royce no more. You ain't going to get to go to Monaco no more. Ain't going to be no $250,000 check waiting for you and somebody hand you a black card and you buy what you want no more. Because a lot of them bras who mess with the perverted, nasty, degenerate, rich niggas, like them whole go over there to Dubai and let these niggas let a camel defecate on their chest, they go do that for the money. And that's the part that don't nobody want to talk about. Don't let a nigga degrade you for no goddamn money. Say hell no. I'll go back and be broken walk in Wisconsin, nigga, before I sit here and let you do me like this. But you stay there and then complain about it. Nigga, leave. The same way some of them rich niggas, Terry Crews let nigga grab his meat. You think that's the first man that white man grabbed his meat for? Like for real, see, this is the other part of the game y'all don't hear about often. Man, a lot of them niggas in Hollywood get done the same way y'all get done. Them white men and them black men is knocking them niggas booty hole loose.
And them boys
doing it.
They starting roll, they get their royalties, they get their money.
Getting paid. That white man telling them, get over here and suck my meat, and he there. You know how many niggas Lance Quincy Jones done ran through? But we don't want to talk about that because you niggas want to be famous and rich over everything. You can turn it down. We can't say it ain't that simple when the devil offered the Lord everything and he said, nigga, no. He said, all this stuff I give it to you, said my power to do. He looked him in his face and said, nigga, no. You can say no, but you're not saying no because you don't want to lose out. Sometimes you got to summon the courage and say, I'll just take that loss, baby, because I'll be damned. I love me more than I love what you're giving me. I'm not finna be with no nigga. This nigga got a nigga talking about first time that nigga say you gonna call a prostitute, he gonna ramrod you. I'm gone. Cause I love me more than I love this here. I'm gone. You get in them situations because you don't love yourself properly. Because if you love yourself properly, that means your daddy loved you properly, your mama loved you properly, your self-respect, dignity, and honor for yourself would not even allow you to be involved with a man who would even ask you to do such things. You'll leave. You'll leave.
Do you feel like some females will probably stay in a relationship if they get beat on?
More women stay there and get beat on. That's a different type of deal. But you still should leave. You still should leave. Because it come into, he talking about women who get beat on. See, when a woman get beat on, she trying to convince herself that this nigga love her and that he don't really mean it, he ain't gonna do it again. They try to make themselves believe it ain't that bad. You gotta leave.
Females that stay because they're scared.
Some women be scared, but a lot of them, you trying to convince yourself that he's not that bad. He really cares about me. You know he don't. You know you deserve better.
I can speak from personal experience. My mom, so she was scared of coming out. Actually, it took like a long time, but she finally had the courage to leave.
Right.
It took me out of school and everything. And they took my father.
I mean, I'm not saying that some of them don't be scared. I'm talking about in general. A lot of them, they convince themselves that this nigga love me. A lot of dudes who get caught, women who get caught in that situation, especially dudes look for women who ain't got a lot of self-respect and self-esteem. So they make her believe ain't nobody gonna love you. So you like, I guess I gotta stay here and take it. You know what I'm saying? That woman gotta have a strong support system, period, in life before she get with this nigga. To know if he put his hands on me, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? But that come in on how the woman view herself. Because you should not be with a nigga who is putting his hands on you. The same way that a man should not be with a woman who is verbally abusive. You know what I'm talking about? A man should not be with a woman who will emasculate him or strike him. Nobody should deal with anybody like that. You should leave. Ain't no reason for nobody to put their hands on you. They put their hands on you, they don't love you. So you got to love yourself enough to say, no, sir. That'll be the first and the last time you ever do that. You know what I'm saying? You have to go. Most people don't have the proper self-esteem. So they stay there and they let a nigga beat them. Then depending on how bad they beat them, that's when what he just said, well, that fear come in. Because you think this nigga gonna kill you. You know what I'm talking about? Because there's some nigga, they gonna kill you. But if you know that nigga gonna kill you, you got to get away. Because you can't be paralyzed by the fear. Because if you don't leave, he gonna kill you. If you leave, he gonna kill you. And if you don't leave, he gonna kill you. So I would rather take the chance and leave and let the nigga kill me than to stay there and get killed. You gonna have to come find me, nigga. I mean, every abuser for the most part threatened to kill a woman the same way that pedophiles threaten little kids with violence so you'll be quiet. That's a common abuser trait. Now, I mean, I know some teens, boy, they done got beat upside their head. They ain't gonna call the police.
saying you ain't serious about that.
Oh, let me see what's up. He said Diddy couldn't deal with this Keefy D situation to pay off. Huh, man?
That's one of the reasons why people say in abusive relationship. Because they be scared.
Some of them be scared, but also depending on how you was raised and what you seen, you think that this is the proper way to live.
I feel like especially if somebody's isolated you from everybody.
I mean, I know a lot of people who've been in abusive situations as a child and they repeated it as an adult.
I agree with that.
They just continue.
Like with him, okay, he rich. He could have isolated her from her family and friends. So who am I calling the police on? Tell me that person that is
I mean, but he wasn't isolating her. She just was going, because the things that she's saying he did were all sexual degenerate acts that he wasn't even participating in the most part. See, at the end of the day, I know it can seem difficult, but we have to cut the crap. In life, you always got a choice. Now, you just may not like the consequences from the choice, but we always have a choice. Because to say we don't have a choice is to say when the beast come and say, serve me or die, you're going to say, I ain't have a choice. I had to take tomorrow. You always have a choice. You just may not like the consequences from the choice, but we always have a choice. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the consequences, shalom, Brother Shaul, sometimes the consequences may not be what you desire, but it is what it is. And I'm not saying that to diminish nobody who's been assaulted in any shape, form, or fashion. But to say that we don't have a choice is to say that I'm a victim and I'm going to remain a victim. You don't have to remain a victim. You can stand up and say, no more, I will not allow it. And make that choice to choose yourself. And say, no, nigga, you're not going to hit me no more. Because there's no way in the world, boy, I would be highly upset if my daughter, sister, or mother told me that a nigga told her to call male prostitutes for her to be ramrodded, and she ain't do it once, she ain't do it twice, she did it 15 times, 20 times, 30 times. We failed as a whole family because I don't know how the hell you kept doing that. So you could be famous? Nah, man. So you can have some money? That was that important to you? You giving up your soul for a little bit of notoriety? And you stayed with a nigga for over a decade doing this? And then you left a nigga for over a decade? And all you wanted was some money. Ain't no way in the world. Ain't no. I don't want no money from you. If I would have told that story, I just would have went and told it just for this nigga to be shamed. I don't want your money. I need y'all to know this nigga's nasty. This nigga's a perverted, degenerate abuser. I don't want your money. See, we get too enamored with money that money is not going to answer everything. Money can't be the reason. You can't do everything. Well, I get some money for it. That means the money more important to you. What about justice and judgment and equity and righteousness? No, man, I don't want your money, bro. You keep that because I know how you get the money. So I don't want the money that you getting from doing that to me. You probably did it to somebody else. I don't want your money. Your money unclean to me. I don't want nothing to do with that. You keep that. That's dirty money. That dirty money. That blood money. I don't want that. I would rather the stain to your reputation. Because once I destroy your reputation, it will tear down everything you got going on. He didn't pay her enough money to break him. If she wanted to break, like that movie Burial where Buddy said, I don't want the money. I want to bankrupt your company. Because it wasn't about the money for him. I want to take you down. If you cared about taking him down, you would have took that all the way to the limit so he could have been embarrassed and lost everything. And lost everything. Because, you know what I'm saying? That type of bad publicity, everybody would have stopped fooling with it.
He doing making the bands and all. Niggas just come in there to get famous.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, you got to look at it that fast if you want to take him down. Because she should have went to take him down. Because if he moving like that with her, that's not the only person he done did that to.
Like you said on making the band, you see him stupid. He got people doing stupid stuff on camera. So
Okay, I already know it. So take this into account. They believe he tried to kill Albie Show. They believe he killed Kim Porter. Niggas definitely believe he killed Pop. Hell, some niggas believe he killed Big. You know what I'm talking about? It's a whole bunch of things, right? Now, see, all this stuff that's coming about this wicked man, that's Yahuwah's doing. And you know why it's Yahuwah's doing? For black people to stop putting these wicked goddamn niggas on a pedestal because they got money. And because they famous. Stop doing it. Who is this nigga? A nigga who promotes degeneracy, wickedness, and ungodliness to your children. And you think he's somebody because he got some money. Nigga, bump that nigga money. Didn't we just read the other day, it's better to have little revenue with right than a lot with wickedness? That this man money is made strictly off degeneracy, strictly off wickedness, strictly off ungodliness. He ain't nobody to look to. So you would have to know if this is a wicked man, anybody around him is going to suffer the pains of wickedness. And this is what he means when he say you of your father the devil and the lust of your father you will do. Because since you lusting after money, you're going to participate in the lust of this wicked man in order to have access to it. That's why he told you, beware of covetousness, take heed of it, because your life don't consist of the abundances. See, we can't think about it like regular people. Regardless if she was 19 or 49, you enamored with wealth. You enamored with power. And when you come into contact with that, some people will sacrifice their soul for it. And that's not just with no woman. Come tell you, they get them young boys in the industry, they're doing the same way. The difference is the men ain't going to come out and talk about somebody who was doing the bending. Just to be honest with you. It's going to be more acceptable for y'all to come out and say, this nigga abused me. You understand what I'm telling you? But these niggas can't come out and say a nigga punched in his butthole. Because they allege that to get in Star Wars, nigga George Lucas got to sleep with you. This is what they say. They say the casting couch wasn't even for women. That was for men. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, they say, look at what Harvey Weinstein, everybody knew what he was doing. Women and all. And nobody said nothing because they cared about the money. Oprah knew. She ain't say nothing. They knew what he was doing. You know the only nigga who did something to Harvey Weinstein? James Dash. Slapped the fire, this man. You know what I'm talking about? On the set of Paid in Full for disrespecting women in that fashion. That's the only person in Hollywood who did something to this man. Slapped the fire from him. Everybody in Hollywood knew what he was doing. I forgot the name of the man who grabbed doggone Terry Crews. Everybody knew this man would do this. Now, if you got a grown black man who is muscular as all outdoors and a small white man felt comfortable enough to give him a handshake to his meat, you think that's the only man he ever did this to? And do you see the ridiculing that Terry Crews got for saying this nigga grabbed my meat? Do y'all not recall that everybody clowned this man for saying, I wanted to whoop the nigga, my wife talked me out of this nigga gay. Nigga violated him. So you think these dudes gonna come out and say, yeah, man, Puffy hit me in the butt. Yeah, he hit me from the back. He can't tell you that. When Africa Bambaataa, that dude Hassan Campbell, he said Africa Bambaataa supposed to have been sleeping with his boy since he was 13 to 16 years old. They say this man was molesting boys left and right. See, men can't come out and tell you about what they gonna go through, so you'll look at it as like y'all diminishing us. No, niggas can't say nothing. Even if he was doing it for the money, nobody care what you were doing it for. You let a nigga put his meat in your seat. I seen the clips. That nigga said he was raping them boys. That nigga Crick Stokes said, I changed. I changed. This man was acknowledging that he raped all them boys. And everybody knew it. Nobody said nothing. Aaliyah people gave her to R. Kelly. They knew what he was doing. Man, when it comes to that money, people don't give a damn. They'll sacrifice everything. You know what I'm saying? And we have to start being honest about it. We don't like to be honest about it because it's an uncomfortable reality. Like, damn, a nigga really do all that for some money? Come on now. Give it in the Molek. Ain't wouldn't even get no money. Wouldn't even get no money. And again, that's not to denigrate her because she should have crushed it. And that's what Elisha said. He said, throw them arrows on the ground and stomp on them. He said, you should have stomped on him 5, 6, 7 times till he was consumed, nigga. You talking about 1, 2, 3, I'm done. You should have destroyed him. Because he ought to be destroyed. If he was doing that woman like that, he ought to be destroyed. But again, I say this is right. We ain't saying the lady lying. She only one witness. You can't believe her on the strength of what she said. Imagine if somebody came up about your husband and said he did all them things to her. But she the only one saying it. And everybody believing it. Now, how would you look at that if it wasn't true? Remember, that's why I read the John 7:24. He said, don't judge according to what? But judge what? So you got to make sure you judge righteousness. You got to let information come out. Just because somebody make an accusation don't mean you run off tackle. Because now you know what you'll end up doing. Exodus 23, running after a multitude to do evil and rest in wrong judgment. That's how that happened. All them people ran out there to kill Naboth, didn't they? Because somebody came out there and said he cursed God and the king, and this man ain't did nothing. So you have to slow down. That don't mean that you back in compassion. That don't mean that you calling that person a liar. But I don't know if that's true. I wasn't there. I don't know if that man did that or not. Now imagine this here. Now this is what my mama. Imagine how many men been accused of doing those things, and it came out later that lady was lying on them. That man's life ruined. Do you know what it's like to walk around with a sexual assault charge against you that you were never convicted for? There was a player who played for USC, man, Brian Banks. That man did 7 years in prison for a whole lying on him. And it came out that she was lying on him. And can you imagine losing 7 years of your life for a lie? He can't. Yeah, he can't get that back. His NFL career was gone. All that was gone. Now, the same way that they were different, he didn't go to jail for sexual assault. But that boy who killed himself when he went to jail in New York City, Jay-Z did a documentary on him, and that boy ain't do nothing wrong. See, people don't think about that consequently about when women lie on men and the consequences that man got to suffer for that lie. Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't get the grade she needed.
I remember that.
The man lost his job. He lost his teaching certificate. When she had to go give a deposition, she admitted she was lying. That man gave his teaching certificate.
His whole life was destroyed. His whole life was destroyed. Remember what our law say. If you make an accusation against somebody and they found to be a lie, what you thought to have done to them, that's getting done to you. That's what eye for eye, tooth for a tooth was really about. Because in our law, it wasn't going to be no judgment and no investigation. If you brought another witness, if Michael brings somebody and say, Civic raped me, Civic down. On the strength of what you said. You know what I'm talking about? He getting stoned. Ain't no trial, ain't no going to jail, ain't no investigation. Because you're supposed to be bearing true witness. You know what I'm saying? So for us, that's why I'm talking about godly folk. I'm talking about the saints. When you hear something, you can't react off emotion. You can't react off nothing other than, that's unfortunate. I pray that didn't happen to you. But if it did, I got to wait till all the information come out before I can determine who's right and who's wrong, who's justified and who's not. Because I can't go off your witness. You only one witness. Allah, okay, how many witnesses you got to have? 2 to 3 to establish that matter. And if it ain't no witnesses, then you got to investigate the matter, because he said he will never condemn the wicked over the righteous. And you just can't say because somebody accused somebody or something that the person who's being accused is wicked and you don't have firsthand knowledge of that. And I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's your wife, your husband, your son, your daughter, whoever it is. Godliness is not restrained to familial ties. Because you could go to hell for running after unrighteous judgment about your children and your child being in the wrong. Because your allegiance is to Yahuwah, not to your children. You can't have no respect to persons and say, I'm going to judge like this for my child, but not for this person's child. Oh, no, then you're not godly. That's definitely. And you know what he said, if you got an unjust weight and an unjust balance, what that make you? You know what it said? No, I'm being serious. Are you aware of what we're talking about?
Say that one more time.
If you have an unjust weight and an unjust balance, what does the law say about you? Huh? No. Get it for him. Deuteronomy 25. That make you an abomination. Deuteronomy 25 and what? 12. Always, man. Like I said, man, you gotta take emotion out of it when you hear things. You have to remove your flesh out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not supposed to be like the people in the world and run all tackle. Got to take your flesh out of it. Because at the same token, we don't know that woman either. And she could be just as, if not more, wicked than him. Because we don't know them people. Remember when that stuff was going on about Bill Cosby? What I kept telling you, you don't know that man. You don't know what level of wickedness that man is privy to. We don't know none. You got to remember, we don't know any of these people. All you know is the caricature of what they sell to you through the television. through social media and whatever other media outlets that can be sold. We don't know these people. We don't know the kinks that they have. We don't know none of these things or what any of these people are into. Don't you know sometimes people participate in disgusting acts, and when the person who they was participating with him in don't give them what they want anymore, now they bring an accusation against their person so they can keep getting what they were getting because they mad because their person cut them off. Happens all the time with people in them spaces because they know they'll pay versus going through that. Because that's what they did to Michael Jackson. Because then people came out and said, oh, we know Mike wasn't touching them kids. But they still ran that man through the ring about that to get some money. You know what I'm talking about? They made up all type of stories. And guess what? If people still to this day believe this man touched on them children, even though if you go look at that trial, it was shown that that man did not touch them children. You know what I'm talking about? But because somebody said he touched them kids, people believe that. I'm talking about if you actually watched the trial, seen the evidence, looked at it. Same thing with OJ case. If you look at OJ case, you'll be like, how did this even get this far? When you take your feelings out of it and just look at the information. Man, Mike ain't touched them kids. Never came close to touching them kids. They was outright lying on this man. But it was a whole bunch of people. That nigga a pedophile. He this, he that. All because somebody said he did, because the people wanted money from him and he didn't want to give it to him. I don't mean, but that don't mean he was touching on him.
But I'm just saying, like,
man, they say this man was giving them little kids Jesus juice. Somebody was putting wine in Coca-Cola cans.
saying that, like,
You can't justify laying in the bed with somebody with you.
huh?
I feel what you're saying. You can't justify laying in the bed with somebody with you. Whether he was touching him or not.
Said he didn't come close, that's how I feel.
I mean, regardless of that, whether he lying in the bed with the kid, I'm not saying lay in bed with kids. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not saying that. But just because he laid in the bed with him,
We get you.
I mean,
don't mean he touched him.
No, you saying getting the full thing of the matter. Like,
Yeah.
okay, that is different. From if you said a nigga lay in the bed with kids, he drugging them and raping them, that is two totally different things.
They're two totally different
That
things.
is. That's still.
I like to say don't judge this way how I look.
Because guess what? Except for the one little Mexican boy. Listen, except for the one little Mexican boy. All them kids say that man never touched me. Now you have to look at that. All the children say that man never touched me. And that did come out in the trial. That he wasn't actually in the bed with him. Nigga had a massive bed. The nigga had a bed big enough to fit 5 grown niggas in it. But I think more so with him, man, I think Mike was the type of dude that if you came to his house, he wanted you to feel like you were at home. That if you hear this your house, you know what I'm saying? And my house big enough, if you want to be able to go back and tell your friends you slept in Michael Jackson's room and you did this, that, and the third, you be able to tell them, I go sleep in the other suite. Because like if you actually see interviews where Mike is talking like Mike and not this here, that man was like, man, I never heard a child. Why would I do that for? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't even make any sense. Especially from a nigga who was beat half to death his whole damn childhood. You know what I'm saying? And allegedly molested his doggone self in this business that he in. Because it's definitely alleged that he got molested. Most children in the music business get molested. You heard Orlando Brown talk about it. Niggas might think he crazy, but all he telling you about it, these people touching on my wee-wee. Touching on my booty hole.
He is good when the show is how that's supposed to be. And it ain't about the money for him either.
That boy didn't sue nothing. He just told it. Same thing they did to Raz B. He just told it. But eventually he recanted because he ran out of money. He ran out of money. Money can never be your motivator. Because when money's your motivator, you'll compromise everything to get it. And Yahuwah told you that, did he not? You gotta be careful about that now. Now we talking about people who live in a different life than we live in. Because like what we were talking about earlier about people getting beat on, that's regular people stuff. You know what I'm talking about? There's a different motivation there. Money's not the motivation why this person's staying there. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a multitude of other things that's going on while they're staying there. Nigga, a lot of people will suffer something with a nigga for some money just because they got some money.
That's all I was saying. I don't even get beat for free.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's a woman getting beat for free.
They ain't saying nothing.
And they don't say a word. She want to leave. She trying to figure out how to leave. There's a woman with a nigga with some money getting beat, And she just like, well, he pay the bills and he give me an allowance every month, and she'll stay there and let this nigga beat on her for $50,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? She ain't thinking about how to leave.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I'd rather cry in the back of this Rolls Royce than in a Honda. Nah, baby, go to the Honda. Don't let that man beat on you like that. So that's why I say it's different. Because we don't know nobody who got that kind of money to be doing that to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Nigga got that. There's too many stories of women staying with these old dirty dick degenerate niggas, man. These niggas doing all type of stuff and they staying there. Women claiming these niggas homosexual. Tim Duncan White claim it's all type of men knocking him down and you staying there. Same thing with Michael Strahan. His wife claimed the same thing. Look at that dirty dick hoe did Earl Thomas. Stole $2 million from the man and was beating on the man. And then they made it seem like he was abusing. This hoe be hitting him. She got him locked up and then took $2 million from him. Her and that nigga be dead fooling with me. She got a new nigga and stole $2 million to get her new nigga. I'm killing both of them. I promise you. I'm going to jail. I need some satisfaction. And the only way I'm going to be satisfied is that nigga digging the dirt. I promise you. $2 million? It ain't even about the money. I don't care about you getting no new wee-wee, but you going to steal my money to get it to this nigga, and I bet he broke. Well, how you feel, nigga, take $2 million from you? How would it matter if you was rich? You was with a nigga, you leave him, and then he steal $2 million from you to give it to another bro.
But how many stories is it that women really like getting fed up to where they try to kill them?
Oh, it's a few. More often than you think.
I know, I'm just saying. Like,
oh, it's quite a few.
I know you don't really hear it like that, though.
They just don't put it on TV. It's quite a few.
I know it is.
It's quite a few. I've seen a lot.
What made her snap? It's
A lot of them, man. Some of them chicks be like this. And they don't even really be snapped. It just be like this here, like, I'm tired of this nigga beating on me. I'm going to kill this nigga. He hit me again. You know what I'm talking about? And she killed him. But that was usually something that she framed in her mind that was her only exit, that she was going to have to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a lot. And I don't believe in them instances that a lot of them women should have went to prison. Me personally. You know what I'm saying? Because if the nigga beating on you like that on a regular basis, I see that as self-defense. So if you had to put that iron on him, that's what he get. Me personally. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm not in that position to make those decisions. But me personally, if I was a judge and I was presiding over a case, or I was a state attorney or what you call a district attorney, and I get a case come across my desk, it's proven, documented that this man was beating on this woman, and he went to hit her one more time, and she put that iron on him, let that woman go home. Don't bring her in here. She shot a woman. She got caught up because of the 10-20 life. See, but she got caught up because of Angela Corey. Angela Corey want convictions. And she wasn't willing to plead that down. Now, I don't know all, because it's a lot of different things, variations that came out in that particular story. But I don't think she should have filed. See, 10-20 life in Florida, the prosecutor has to file for that. That's not automatic. So for her to get like that 20 man, Angela Corey sought that. You know what I'm saying? It's just not like, oh, you shoot a gun, 10-20 life. That's not how it works. They have to file for that sentence enhancement. So she sought that. So that's on Angela Corey for being a douche, because that was unnecessary. Because she could have easily just, hey, man, give her probation and send her home. You know what I'm saying? That didn't have to go that far. That was Angela Corey being a douchebag. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's what Angela Corey was on, because she was a rotten, fat, squarehead hoe. You know what I'm talking about? For real, she just wanted to lock people up, specifically black people. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't think, because Marissa went to school with a lot of people that I went to school with, but I graduated before her, so I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? I think she was in there for a few years before that junk came back on appeal and she got out. I think she might have did maybe 2-3 years before she got out. But it's a lot of people that, because she went to Wolfson, so there's a lot of people that I went to school with that know her. You know what I'm saying? I said I ain't know her. You know what I'm talking about? I'm older. But I don't think she should have went to jail for that. Me personally. Not for no warning shot, whether nigga was beating on her or not. Not for that. Probation man, early termination man, get out my courtroom. You know what I'm saying? I can't just say no, you know what I'm saying? You still fired a weapon. I just can't just dismiss it. I mean, it's obvious you fired a weapon. We got the proof of it. Probation man, 12 months, early termination man, You ain't got to pay no money. Just take these classes, get out my courtroom. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. No, I mean, that's how I would have, with that fact, just get out my courtroom. Yeah, it's people really doing something. I ain't got time for you to be clogging up my calendar. You know what I'm saying? I go to the state, man, get that girl probation, man, 12 months. If you come off, because you know a judge can reject the plea deal. So if the state offer you a plea deal and they say we want to give you 5 years, the judge can say this is too much time, I'm not taking it. Renegotiate. Or he can say this is not enough time, I'm not taking it. Renegotiate. They could do that because the plea deal is not a guarantee. That's an agreement between you and the state. The judge gotta stamp it, and he can reject it. You know what I'm talking about? And if I would have been the judge of her instance, they would have came with a plea deal with any jail time, I would have said no. No, go figure something else out. She's not going to jail. Period. That's not happening.
But that's how at the end of the day, that's how money for the judges.
Absolutely. 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 Yeah, she's not going to jail. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean by every situation, you got to take your emotions out of it. And you have to judge, because we read the part, but you know that what he said, everybody that's Mashiachs have done what? Crucified the affections and lusts. So your affections and lusts may be there, but they don't dominate how you think, they don't dominate how you judge, and they don't dominate how you behave. Now, I'm not saying that you might not have instances where your flesh come up and you be like, but you got to just get it under control. And you got to look at it from a godly portion. That's why I was saying what I was saying earlier. But we get caught up and not looking at things wholly from a righteous judgment type of deal. We just looking at somebody say they doing somebody wrong. Okay, they doing somebody wrong, but what is this person doing fooling with them for this period of time for something that they don't want to do, and they're benefiting off of the person who they are alleging of doing something to them? Because you don't sit there and Satan is abusing a lot of people and they stay right there with him. You know what I'm talking about? What would make them different than Puffy? Nothing. They stay right there with him. Look at this here. Niggas love Cameron. What Cameron did the other day, that nigga ought to go to hell. I don't care if that woman a porn star or not. You got another man wife giving you a massage, shooting shots at her, doing all this, that, there, and the third. That's ungodly, boy. That show you lack understanding, Cam. You worthy of death. You know what I'm saying? That's not cool. There's nothing about that humorous or nothing. There's nothing funny about it. Nah, Mace did. But Cam shot a shot. He was flirting with her already.
Like he got sick for being a rapper and actually being a sportsman.
Yeah.
Like, that's the rapper Cam.
He shouldn't have did that if that was the nigga Cam. That's another man's wife. Some things you just have to sit back and look at. You just don't do. You just don't do. That's another man's wife. Word or not, you asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw when he was married.
She massaged him on air.
I saw when he was married. I didn't know. Turn the lights off. It was just like, okay.
No, shirt off.
Oh, that's shirt off. It was mad when he was invited.
Yeah, she massaged him on air. And she, but guess what? What I told y'all before, you could put a dress on a hoe, she's still a hoe.
Yeah, she's still legally married.
Man, that hoe back doing porn. No, she was back on the bus, the porn bus. Yeah, she's a porn star from back in the day.
She came out of retirement.
She came out of retirement.
The bills is low. You know.
The bills is low, so my coochie got to go. You know what I'm talking about? Deuteronomy 25 and 12. That's Joe Smith.
Okay. I got to bring it on too. I didn't know that. It's all here. It's all here. No, it's all here. He's right. Yeah. Oh, hey.
That's another man. Why? Come on, man. Deuteronomy 25 and 12. Yes, they did.
They filed for that. That's filed.
They filed for it.
That's filed for doing
They just did an interview though with her 2 weeks ago, so they already.
Pastor Bethel filed for that.
They already been in contact with her.
That Pastor Bethel.
But see,
But that's why she did all that with Joe Smith, and she's trying to do all that.
I ain't watched the interview.
He was enticing.
Because he knows she a hoe. But just because she a hoe, that's that man's hoe.
But you know, let it go.
JT Money told you that. Deuteronomy 25 and 12, man. We don't care about that hoe.
Then you shall cut off Off her hand, your eye shall not pity. You shall not have in your bag diverse weights.
That is, you should not have in your bag what?
Diverse
You
weights.
should have in your bag what?
Diverse weights.
And what else?
A great and a small. You shall not have in your house diverse measures. A great and a small.
Go ahead.
But you shall have a perfect and just weight. A perfect and just measure shall you have, that your days may be lengthened in the land which Yahuwah your Elohim give you. For all that do such things, all that do unrighteously,
Or what?
and abominations.
So see this here. When you judge unjustly or you judge weighted in a particular fashion, Yahuwah detests that because he has no respect of persons. So he wants you to judge perfectly every time.
No bias.
No bias, no feelings, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because now, of course, y'all won't be in situations like that too often. But like he said in 2 Chronicles 19, you don't judge for man, you judge for Yahuwah. You know what I'm talking about? So, or when you take into account what's in 1 Corinthians 6, when he say, if the saints can't judge if you're going to judge angels, you should be able to judge the least of matters. So we can never have respect of persons. It doesn't matter who it is. Deuteronomy 10 and 12. See, one thing I know that's why I mentioned that with Mashiach on the mount. And everything I just mentioned, right? A wholesome tongue lead to health. See, a wholesome tongue is going to give you the information that where you can be healed. See, most people don't have nobody to tell them this is not good. You need to go. See, we talking about it. You can look at that situation with her and Puffy and look at that same situation and how you look at somebody in the grips of the world. Somebody in the grips of Satan. That's actually an better point of what we're talking about giving your power to the devil, because she gave her power to him because of what he could offer her. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to realize Puffy could do nothing to her unless she gave herself over to him. Now, once you give yourself over to the devil, he will use you, abuse you, rip you, destroy you, and spit you out and leave you with nothing. And you're going to be looking crazy, and you're going to want to blame the devil, but you're really going to have to blame yourself. You know what I'm talking about? This, and I mentioned that, and again, it's really not about her, because like I said, I don't know what happened with her. It's more so about, matter of fact, before you read that, give me that 1 Peter 5. Give me that 1 Peter 5 and 5. You know what I'm talking about? It's more so about, remember what he said in Proverbs 23, to seek not to be rich and cease from your own wisdom. Remember how he said, seek not, Paul wrote to seek not after wealth, because it pierced men through with what? Many sorrows. You know what I'm talking about? So when we turn around and we look at the text, now, of course, that's not going to be the case for her because she didn't know Yahuwah. So that's why I say that don't relate to her. This is more so for us. This is how we get caught up in these systems with these people. Remember when he told you envy not who? And choose none of his what? So then we end up getting caught up because you lusting after what he got. Remember what he said in Psalm 37? Don't envy sinners and don't be jealous of nothing they got. You know what I'm saying? Because we get caught up with that. That's why I mentioned that when Mashiach was on that mountain, Satan showed him all the kingdoms of the world, did he not? And all the wealth in them. And said, if you bow down and worship me, I'll give them to you. You know what I'm talking about? He had to sit back and look at the wealth that comes from God is greater than what you offer me. I don't want it. Because once I take this from you, now you got me. I'm going to be caught up. I'm going to be subject to all your desires at that point. Whatever you want me to do, I'm going to have to do it. Wherever you want me to go, I'm going to have to go. Because I gave my power up to you simply for temporary pleasure. That's why the writer of Hebrews said he would rather suffer affliction with the children of God than enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. See, a lot of us get caught up for enjoying the pleasures of sin for a short period of time. Then when the check come due because of the sin, you want somebody to feel sorry for you. But that's the decision that you chose to make. And now you got to suffer the consequences for it. That's what we don't want to deal with when we look at life. And she mentioned this earlier, it's not fair. Life ain't fair. Because no matter how old you are, you make choices, but you don't get to dictate the consequences of the choices that you make. And that we have to understand and respect that there are consequences, whether positive or negative, for every decision that you make. And life don't care how old you are. You know what I'm talking about? Life don't care. It don't care. Because you know who should have been around with that 19-year-old girl? Where was her parents at? Where was her parents at for her to even be free enough to go gallivanting around with a man twice her age? Where was her mama at? Where was her dad at? Where was her grandparents at? Where was somebody at to say, hell no, my daughter not going nowhere with you?
Some parents that's be with them.
Indeed, and that's the ugly part.
So I don't know about her situation.
You're right. Well, that's the ugly part. Because then you got too many parents who will be on some old, because they want the benefit from the child. So they'll sell their child to the devil, so to speak, for the benefit. All because we idolaters, because we covetous. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it come in at. And that comes from what? Not keeping the fig tree, so you can't eat the fruit. You know what I'm talking about? Because the hope that God gonna give you is deferred, you're tarrying for a minute, you going after the world and say, I'll take this instead. Now, of course, that's not her case, because I doubt that she had enough word for her to make that decision. But we have to look at her in a situation as if this was somebody who was serving God, and here comes Satan offering the world. Because that's all Diddy coming to do, is offer you the world. That's all he doing. But always remember, he told you don't love the world, nor the things in the world. Because what's in the world? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. That means whatever's out there in the world, what they offering is temporary, and eventually it will destroy you. Because when we look at the majority of these people in these spaces that black people love to uphold, these people get destroyed. That's why these niggas mad about this nigga making a symphony orchestra album. That's why these niggas mad. Because they want to hear degenerate conduct. Like I told you last night, they want to hear a 48-year-old man speaking like a 24-year-old man. It don't even encapsulate in some nigga's mind. Why wouldn't he want to rap? If I was rich and famous, you have a nigga meet in your seat. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, boy. Niggas will give up their booty hole, kids and all, for 15 minutes of fame and a little bit of change. You know what I'm saying? That's male and female. I'm not putting that. That's why I say black folk. I don't care about no gender. Black people, period. They will give up anything for a little bit of fame and some change. Because shoot, these hoes getting ran through just to say they with the well-known dope nigga in the city. Or the well-known promoter in the nigga in the city. Come on, man. Y'all remember this nigga doggone, that nigga from out east had AIDS. All them women knew that nigga had AIDS. Everybody knew he had AIDS, and they were still sleeping with him. Was it his fault? Or was they so enamored with what they thought they could get that they'll play Russian roulette with their vagina? Because, boy, I wouldn't care how fine a woman was or what I could get from her. If she got AIDS, I don't want that. But people will risk their life for some money. Hell, look at everybody who done been to jail. Some of y'all done did crimes and risked your freedom for some money. Look at the things that niggas do for some money. And we think it would be hard to believe that a woman would go along and let a nigga bang her with a homosexual prostitute, allegedly, for some money. When you see niggas do less, for less, man, y'all done seen some girls let a nigga bust up her back for a 2-piece biscuit from Popeyes and a bag of weed. Nigga ain't even get no McChicken with cheese, man. This nigga ain't even, that nigga got stress weed. That nigga ain't even get no hydroponics. That nigga gave you Bobby Brown. That nigga gave you boom weed and you smoked it. Come on, man. That joint's sad. I ain't saying that to be funny. That joint's sad, yo. That means we don't love ourselves at all. So ain't no way we gonna love you, who? Because we sell ourselves too short to people who don't give a damn about you for next to nothing. For some fame, for some notoriety. Nigga, Cassie ain't even famous no more. If she would have filed this lawsuit, y'all wouldn't even thought about it. I bet ain't none of y'all thought about it. What's that Cassie record? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that to belittle her. I'm saying that is she did all of that. She went through all of that for nothing. For nothing. Niggas get mad at Puffy. This nigga been told you he ain't marrying nobody, and then they talk trash about him. He ain't getting married. This man done told you he ain't marrying nobody. You already know this nigga ain't got good sense. This nigga messing with a chick who would get on TV and tell people that this nigga piss on her. And she said, I heard this woman say, I got to draw the line and nigga boo-booing on me. Shoot, what's the difference? Go all the way. You gonna draw the line? And everybody thought that was cute. We go together. You big old rusty, stupid, ignorant hoe. What's wrong with you? Why is you even talking about this in front of other people? You not realize how stupid you made yourself look? And niggas quote this hoe? And with women like that, you wonder why girls get caught up with niggas like this. No, I'm being serious though. When they tell them get the money and this, that, and the third, you wonder why young girls get caught up like this. And now let's also be real with this one here too. Because we like to say grooming, but I'm going to tell you something, right? I grew up with some advanced hoes. Well, some of these hoes know what they doing, and they know what they getting out there for, and they end up getting in too deep. It ended up getting realer than what they thought it was, because they thought they could put the whoop whop and the whoop wham on the nigga, and he'll just come up off his bread, and they ain't realize this nigga was sicker than they thought. Because I definitely grew up with some 18, 19-year-old girls who was definitely on the prowl to drain a nigga for his money. They knew exactly what they were doing, why they were doing it, and how they were going to get it done. So let's not act like every young girl is naive, because some of these girls been busting coochie since the 7th grade. And some of them was raised by hoes. Let's not forget about that. Same way young men get raised by gangsters, thugs, and drug dealers. Some women were birthed and raised by hoes, the hoe in their bloodline. Grandmama was a hoe. Mama is a hoe. Auntie is a hoe. What you think she gonna be? All you gotta do is look at the bloodline. If you come from a bloodline of women and everybody in there got children from 2 to 3 to 4 different niggas, you come from a family of hoes. And I don't give a damn how anybody feel about it. That's not regular. I just seen a woman going back and forth with a dude about this here, because they were like, we done got it. It done got so common for people to have children from different people that people think it's odd when all your kids look alike, because they from the same parents. That's how bad the world done got. So we just cool with that. Yeah, she got 4 kids from 4 different niggas. Who cares? She got 6 kids from 6 different niggas. I told you I know a chick had 9 kids from 9 different niggas. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. She couldn't pay me to have sex with her. 9 kids from 9 different men? That's ridiculous. That's not even being funny. That's ridiculous. That's sad. Consequently, it ain't no better if a dude talking about he got 12 kids from 5 different women and all. What you doing, cuz? You can't control your wee-wee? What's wrong with you? Come on, man. First Peter 5 and 4.
And when the chief shepherd shall appear, you shall receive a crown of esteem that fade not away. Likewise, you younger, submit yourselves unto the elder.
You gotta hit it right there.
I was going to ask.
Yea, all be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For Elohim resist the proud and give mercy to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Elohim, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because that your adversary devil, as a roaring lion, walk about, seeking whom he may devour.
I'm trying to tell you.
Whom resist steadfast in the faith.
Resist steadfast in the what?
In the faith.
In the what?
In the faith.
In the what?
In the faith.
Okay.
Knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world.
So you have to remember that, because he out here. And you know who he looking to devour? The weak. The weak in faith. This period, just the weak in faith. That's who he looking to devour. Yeah, Jaden definitely been asked if all our kids had the same father. I remember Lisa said that. I think Muffin, you said that too. Somebody said, all your kids, that's what happens when they got the same daddy. Your kids supposed to look alike. And when I say look alike, meaning look alike between the two of you. That's supposed to be that way. You know what I'm saying? We ain't like that no more, because people out here humping around like Bobby Brown. You know what I'm talking about? Like Bobby. Ain't that sad? I think all Bobby Brown kids dead. That's unfortunate. We're going to start right there, man, because it's 5 o'clock, man. You know, hallelujah for y'all who shot the word. Joanne. You saying hi? You being a nice baby today. I bless y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. But you know, this way and consider, right? Again, don't get caught up on the lady. Get caught up on the what would you sacrifice your soul for? Remember what Yahushua said in Matthew 16 about verse 24? What profit a man if he gain what? And loses what? That's what happened with a lot of our people. You'll gain everything, but you're going to lose the most valuable thing that you have. I'm talking about on that scale. Now, on the other scale, stop letting them niggas go upside your head, man. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm being dead serious with you. And when I say this here, meaning if you know somebody and a nigga putting their hands on them and you know that, you need to help them to that situation. You know what I'm talking about? I'm dead serious. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care if they're in the word or not. Don't be sitting around talking about it's okay, girl. No. You need to be effectively discussing with them. What can I do to help you get out of that situation? I mean, life ain't easy.
And I understand that everybody has a choice, but to be in that situation,
I mean, you have some women who will, and you have some women who won't. But you know what the difference is in that? Some people are stronger than others. So, but it's not that it's not easy or it's not fair. It's just that you're not a strong person. So you'll just sit there and take it. Where somebody stronger would be like, absolutely. I mean, it's the same token. Now, this is a different scenario. What I was telling somebody yesterday. You got some men in life who will face adversity, and they'll look that adversity in the face and overcome it. And you'll have another man face that same adversity and crumple under that pressure because he wasn't strong enough. Now, we can sit back and look at him and say, well, I understand it ain't easy, but at the end of the day, you could have made a choice to overcome, and you allow whatever you had going on within you to not let you do it. So there has to come a point in time where you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, no matter bump this nigga over here, what he doing, I love me. And I love me enough to say, this nigga is not going to slap me, and I'm going to stay here and let me slap. See, what you talking about where it come in, why it's not easy, is like I mentioned, that person don't love themselves enough. You don't love you, so you end up convincing yourself, maybe I deserve for him to hit me like that.
Or it'll get better. You know
what I'm saying? Like, because I've heard women say that they tried to convince themselves that maybe he was right. No, he wasn't right. Well, that's how a lot. You know why a lot of people feel that. You know why a lot of people feel that way? Because for every woman who getting hit like that, it's somebody who called the police on a nigga and was lying. I know that, but then it's dudes who really get accused of doing it and they didn't. You know what I'm talking about? So that's how men look at it. Because men look at it like, if this nigga doing this to you, put that nigga in jail. You know what I'm talking about? Because I know, look here, you seen that same situation with Keke Palmer and that dude, she said this man was doing this and doing that, and then it came out she's the initiator. Yeah. And then you know what I'm talking about? That she's the initiator. That she's verbally abusing him.
That nigga going to jail. I told you what she lying or not, that nigga going to jail when she comes. The highest female scared when you clearly see niggas is getting locked up when you call.
See, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I'm gonna be honest with you on the inverse. When a woman don't give a damn about that nigga, she'll call the police for him and go to jail. When that woman actually is emotionally attached to this man, she won't call him. You know what I'm talking about? She won't call him. Just to be honest with you. If she's emotionally attached to that man, she won't call him.
I think it's both of them. I feel like
that's what he said.
I think it's both of them. I feel like she emotionally attached, but she still got to understand it. She'll let that not go if she's already been talking.
Now that emotional attachment for a woman, that's different.
Because if it's your husband, you may not want to see everything.
That come into a play.
You may not want to go
that come into play because that's when you're caring about image. You know what I'm talking about? And things of that nature. But I don't give a damn about none of that. I'm gonna tell you. Leave.
Leave for sure.
Leave. You know what I'm saying? We'll sort all the other stuff out later. You know what I'm saying? My objective is get away from him. We'll sort all the other stuff out. Even if you don't want to call the police on him. My thing is, it's not even about if you call the police on him. Let's put together a plan and get you away. That's why I say if you know somebody in that situation and they're telling you about it, you got to talk to them about, we got to set up a plan to get you away from that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't stay in that. Oh, Alicia said, Herodias King Herod telling the daughter to ask for the head of John the Baptist. Is that a form of prostituting your daughter? Not a form of prostituting your daughter, but it's definitely a form of manipulating your daughter for the purpose of committing murder. Yeah, she did what a lot of women do, and that she manipulated that child in order to get what she wanted. But that's another. But yeah, man, if you know somebody and that's happening to them, it's more so being a support system to try to persuade them to, you need to remove yourself from the situation. Like, you can let them talk about why they can't do it, and you ain't got to interject and say, no. Let them say whatever they want to say. Now, what we going to do to help you get out of the situation? Because, you know, sometimes people get caught up when she go to explain and it ain't that bad and want to interject. I'm going to let you say all that out your mouth. And then when you get finished, now what we going to do to help you leave?
I had a situation with college. I had a homegirl. I knew that was over there. I knew both of us. Other
Right.
people cool and all that, but they be back and forth fighting all the time. So I had to go over there, make sure no one popped off. I was let's stay in my apartment.
Right.
When we had Christians, I was at my apartment. But he ended up going back to me, so it's like.
That's another reason why that's another reason why dudes don't get involved also. Because remember, I told Muffin this when she was little. A lot of dudes don't get involved because the woman end up going back to the dude. You know what I'm saying? And then now I'll be honest with you. A lot of women like the negativity and the contention of that type of interaction with somebody. And I believe it's to the point what I mentioned earlier, that they grew up in a household where that happened. And some people don't look at that type of behavior and say, I don't want that for my life. Some people look at that and repeat it. You know what I'm saying? They just repeat it. So you thinking that a man putting his hands on you because you watch somebody do your mama like that, you think that that's how you supposed to behave. You have some young men, because they watch their daddy go upside their mama head, they think, well, if a woman get out of pocket, I'm going to smack this hoe. You know what I'm talking about? And they think that this is normal behavior. The same way you grow up in a household and everybody screaming and hollering at each other. You think that that's how you're supposed to talk to people. Your mama in there, shut up, you bleep, 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 bleep. You think this is how you supposed to talk. So then you grow up and you recreate that. You know what I'm talking about? And then, you know, some people like chaos, to be quite honest with you. Some women like chaos. They like to be a part of it. They like to be involved in it. It makes their life exciting to give them something to talk about. Sadly. You know what I'm talking about? But we can't get caught. Those are people, they are lost cause. You see, you know what you probably did with the horses here, plus I know you done had that experience to a certain extent, is cutting the nigga off when you see that that's the life they want to have, and say, I'm done with you. I'm not like cutting them off completely, but like, don't talk to me about this anymore. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me talking about this nigga hit you, and it's the sixth time you done called me to tell me he hit you, and you keep going back over there fooling with it, and you know I'm gonna help you lead this man. I don't want to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? See, your situation might have been different. You may have not had somebody to call to be able to tell you, no, Doris, let's go. Well, see, you might have felt like you would be embarrassed by telling them what it was you were dealing with, which is something that a lot of people who get abused, it's a natural reaction for them, whether it's physical or sexual abuse. You're embarrassed. So then you feel like, I don't want to tell somebody that I'm dealing with this here because it make you think you look a certain type of way. Which is unfortunate because that's a society thing. You know what I'm saying? But somebody abusing you is not embarrassing to you. That's embarrassing to them. That's a lack of self-control, discipline, and all manner of things on them because there ain't no excuse for it. Don't get me wrong, because I know, because look here, right? I know too many women who done been abused physically and sexually in my time. Hell, I know boys who've been sexually abused. You know what I'm talking about? So I already know how the thought process works. When we discussing her, we talking about somebody who's living in a completely, totally different life than what we live in. with completely total different temptations and desires, which will influence her decisions on suffering degenerate behavior. Versus when you talking about somebody like us, regular people, who are dealing with regular people, who don't necessarily are going to get the massive benefit that she's going to get from dealing with a nigga like this. You know what I'm talking about? So it's different. So I know there's a stigma, a shame. It's a multitude of things. But my stance gonna stay the same. You gotta love yourself more. You know what I'm saying? A nigga hitting you ain't got nothing to do with you. You know what I'm talking about? That's got to do with him. And my thing is that with our people, especially with our daughters, we don't teach them to love themselves enough to say, don't let that man hit you like that. Don't let that man call you out. Do you remember that time I told you the girl I went to jail with, she had called me out my name? And I called her a female dog like 4 or 5 times in a row. And it wasn't because I talked, but when I did it, she was looking sad. I said, you see how you looking? I say, don't call me out my name, because I don't call you out your name. Because I've never done that. Even before the word, I'm not calling you no hoe, no fiend. I'm not doing that. Because I don't want you to talk to me like that. I'm not going to hit you because I don't want you to hit me. You know what I'm talking about? So the problem come in at, and I believe that y'all friend group and y'all peers also play into this a little bit, is that they don't tell you to love yourself enough to say, no, girl. Some of your friends will make excuses for some of the stuff niggas do. You know what I'm saying? He didn't mean it like that. No. You got to love yourself. You got to love yourself. Nobody who love you going to hit you. I don't care who they is. I don't care what they doing for you. I don't care what a nigga paying for. I don't care where a nigga taking you. I don't care what a nigga do for you. That man don't love you if he can ball his fists up and put his hands on you. You know what I'm talking about? If he can open up his hand and slap you. Nigga don't love you. But see, you know what a lot of that stuff come into also? A lot of y'all be young in situations with men, whether your age, that y'all not supposed to be in, because y'all don't have the maturity and life experience to know how to navigate it. And then that leads to a lot of baggage and emotional pain that you got to carry with you. You know what I'm talking about? And that junk ain't cool. It ain't cool. I don't agree with none of it. That's where it come in at. You know what I'm saying? But I say, that's the situation different. If we were talking about a regular person, we would have had that conversation. You know what I'm saying? But for a nigga to sue a nigga for what she alleged that nigga was doing to her, and to settle in 24 hours?
She settled?
Yeah.
How much you got?
Oh, no, they ain't gonna tell you how much she got. That's disrespectful to any woman who was going through that type of deal. You know what I'm saying?
Like your nigga ran right in there.
He said,
My teacher told me this long
Why?
time ago.
You settled that quick?
She said you want to hurt somebody hit them in their pocket.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where I be at. Because it's bigger than her. Because there's women who going through what she going through, and now she may not come out and say nothing because she wanted a few million. The agreement. No, I'm not talking about Cassie can say something. I'm talking about it's somebody else who in the music business could have been going through the same thing you going through with another mogul, another CEO, and now she not gonna say nothing. You know what I'm talking about?
Get the money.
Man, that boy said they say up around 30 minutes. They said she settled in 30 minutes.
So he got it.
You know what I'm saying? That's what make it bad. Because sometimes you gotta say bump the money. This nigga gotta pay. Hey, it's Abby. She said,
Husband probably like, hey man, how much you think we can get?
big girl Abby.
30 million.
You used to be my baby.
That's right. That nigga been doing shit like that. Niggas paid next to a couple months ago. It's nothing.
But it's probably less than 30 million.
All right, y'all.
I'm just saying. So he put it out for me. I'm just saying.
Oh, he said she got 30 million.
Okay, so they gave it to you.
She got 30 million.
Gave
her 30 million, he gone. And you know why he probably paid that 30 million? Because he didn't want to get exposed. He didn't want to get exposed. He didn't want nobody to know how kinky he is. She probably was gonna talk about, you know who was in the Range Rover with the boy. With the boy. All that. Cause that's why Puffy settled. You know Puffy gonna settle quick. She supposed to put him out there.
was about to shoot that shit. This man said
He supposed to put him out.
sat with him for years.
But hey, y'all, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all with it, man. We'll pick it up on Wednesday, man.
That was before all the evidence came up.
Hey, don't do that. No, just weigh and consider, man. Don't put nothing before your soul. Come here, Renee. Yahuwah Baruch.
That's how you get president.
Blessings out the house, Elohim, in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. Y'all with him to the next time. You got a supreme? Are you a student? Got them shades on your head like your auntie. See, but them industry folks always talk about them parties. Definitely. And you know, in them industry parties, you got to sign an NDA before you go.
They were talking about that with Lil Baby, I guess.
Yes, sir.
They was at the party.
Yeah, you talking about the Jewish man party.
The cracker did something, Lil Baby.
Hugging him from the back, trying to get us.